Hello, everybody on YouTube. If you're in the chat right now, let me know if you can hear me. You should be able to. I'm not that worried about it, but let me know what's up so we can say hi to the people out there. As you may have been able to tell from the title, it's time for some big-time pulling again, but this might be our biggest one yet for two reasons. One, multiple people are spending gems on this current banner. We'll get to that in a second. And two, we're also going to go through and rank all of the characters in Genshin Impact based on this whole tier list from S to D. That's going to come after the pulls, and it might be contentious, or maybe we'll get along. I don't know. Joining me on this journey, we have the usual crew from last time. So Doug is here.
Hello.
Michaela's next to me in the room.
Hey.
Kate is here.
Hello.
And Jason is here.
I'm here.
Hopefully you heard everybody. Or if somebody is like just tuning in and can tell me if everything sounds good. It should. I'm monitoring everything. It should be fine. But anyways, we are going to start by pulling. The whaling's the most exciting part after all, and the anticipation would be too mean to put off. They've been waiting since Tuesday anyways. So I'm shifting over to Kate's screen. She has decided to pull for Kazuha. Looks like you have 6 pulls ready to go.
I do. I have 30 pity on here, so it should be just right.
Okay, so we're hoping for the 50-50, or do you already have that lined up as well?
I have already lost the most recent 50-50, so I am getting him today. That is pretty certain here.
Yay!
Alrighty, we'll start here, and then obviously, assuming you pull him, unless some dastardly metric happens here, you also can kid him out like we have in the past, but pull one ready.
Alright, here we go.
This blade. It is the last link I
even
have
worse
to the
than-
land of my birth.
Now it's resizing.
Oh God!
Oh, wow.
No.
It's fine. We'll let him look over it. That's
Kazuha
fine.
can observe. There you go.
Turns out this is just as bad as Discord once it gets moving. Who knew?
Excellent.
It's alright, we're gonna let it rock. Look down upon us, Kazuha, with glee.
Alright, looking really good here. So awesome.
Oh, there's debate
Oh,
club.
debate club.
Oh.
Lord and Savior
Alright.
debate club has spoken.
I got a cool spear.
Okay.
It is neat looking.
Alright.
Pretty sure that's the spear on my Toma.
I think that's also the spear on my Toma.
I think that's the
It
one.
matches with the vibe.
Whatever opera girl. Oh.
Ooh.
Okay. I think I have a C2 Ningguang. So, the more the merrier.
Indeed, can't complain.
Yeah.
More importantly, she's not a child, so I think that
Yes.
that's positive.
Always appreciated.
Maybe I'm selling my hand too soon for the tier list, but
She's also gotten better with time.
Yeah, and I suspect a geocatalyst will always be useful to some degree. So.
It's true. I pretty much only use her for puzzles at this point.
Yeah.
She
right?
hasn't
I
made a
just
way
used her
into
the
a
other day
team.
for a puzzle. It was
Yep.
lovely.
Yeah.
Zhang Ling, turns out, is not very good for puzzles.
Yeah.
So this is it? We should be there?
No, this is 3
no.
of 6, potentially.
Okay. Okay, we'll
Debate
debate
club.
club. Debate
Got
club.
more debate clubs. And another debate club.
Oh.
And another
Debate
debate
Oh,
clubs
club.
are smiling down on us, so...
And a Ningguang.
Oh.
Alright.
Hey!
Ningguang's
She was
are
like, I
shining-
heard
shining
you
down
said
on
you
us.
don't really use me.
So Ningguang is your cursed character this
Apparently.
stream.
Yeah, but now Beto's joined the chat.
Just like, what you got to say about Ningguang? Alright.
Pull 4.
Yeah.
We're hoping for the next one. I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get that 71 to 80 pull, have it drop. That seems fair.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
This
Stringless is
stringless.
solid.
I think I remember liking that bow. I think I used it for a while. It seemed solid.
I had it on Ganyu for a while, but... Oh!
There you
See,
go.
that's
New
exciting.
The tune to accompany
New
them.
boy.
Foolish
Awesome.
to hear.
I'm
Oh,
always
Whoa.
a fan of Animo.
Skype's freaking out with its bitrate, but for now we'll put it up here.
Oh dear.
Should have stuck with Discord. Learned a lesson today. It's alright. The only person who's pulling on this setup is Kate, because Michaela's on my setup.
Oh, well done.
Let's
Alright.
see.
Am I
We're
good to
hoping for this
continue?
one.
Okay.
Also, what's up to Thunderhead in the chat? I see you, frequent commenter. Although his message disappeared.
Oh!
Alright, smiling down upon
Now,
us.
if it's
I'm going to
not
put it back down
Kazuha,
below him.
gonna lose my mind.
It's actually centered on his chin. This is great.
Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
There.
Yeah,
There
Yay!
he is. There's the boy.
The wind.
There's
Hee-hee.
best boy.
Ahara.
He's bursting out of his frame.
He's like, I'm here. Oh, yay!
Wonderful. There's the boy.
I sure wish I could figure out what size I wanted this to be. Just pick one. I don't care which.
And then just
And
stop
what
moving
you
I'd like to
Skype.
know.
You got the extra wood scythe, which is handy for Izo, if you want to build them that way.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Let's show 'em off.
Jeez.
Wherever in this world I roam.
Watch me not use a controller. All
That's a smart play here. I like that.
right. Where's my boy?
Hide
Slash,
over
do I
there.
know how to use? Oh no. I like don't know how to do the controls on.
I think it's the left, right, or
There
I
we
have
go.
to
All
kinda
right.
pan through.
Oh,
He's going to
wow.
be over there at the level 1s.
There's a Ning. Bye bye.
Oh.
There's other boy. Give
Oh,
me
yeah.
this animal boy. All right.
Scenery is
There he is.
wonderful.
So I think I'm gonna be
Surely enough
like
to
a
convince anyone
little
to become
short
a
on getting
wanderer.
him to 90, but
I
that's okay.
think you are too, because I think I was on my cookie.
Yeah, that looks like it's
Yeah.
going to get you in the 82 range. That's my guess.
Yeah, that's fair. You know, I'll take it. Boop.
And while this isn't the most exciting part compared to pulling, I always like this part because this is what everybody's been working for.
It's true, and I also wasn't genuinely saving for him until earlier this week, so I'm pretty proud of the amount of materials I've
Just
managed to
attuned to
pull
accompany
together.
them. If you wish to
So what
hear.
changed your mind? Was it doing the event and liking him more, or just deciding you wanted him on a whim? Like, what was the impetus for being like, yep, it's him?
Literally pure procrastination. I've known I wanted him. I just didn't work on getting his stuff. I like immediately regretted not pulling for him after his first run because I was saving for Inazuma characters. And that was my mistake.
Wherever in this
I
world
thought about
I
pulling
roam.
for him myself.
I
I
carry
did not have
memories
enough
of
to
my
cover
home.
both ends of a 50-50, but I maybe could have
blade.
gotten close if I grinded
It
out
is
the
the
event
last
and a
link
couple
I
other
have
things.
to the land of my
I
birth.
did enjoy playing him in some of the guest events. Like, I like his character, but it was one of those where I was like, yeah, now's not the time.
That's fair. Yeah, no,
Welcome
this
back,
event has
eventually.
made me love him even more, so
Yeah, this event has been very, very good for him. So
yes.
As they say, Kazuha fans are eating well.
we really are. Yes,
You're fed.
can confirm. After a year of like nothing, we've been it's been very kind.
Yeah, the absence made your heart grow fonder.
That is
Exactly.
true. Yes.
Not to jinx anything, but it does seem like when we're not pulling and having it freak out from the laser light animation, that it's holding steady. So maybe that was the cause.
Probably.
encouraging.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, that's okay.
And, you know, on the off chance that anybody from the Genshin team is watching this, which is never going to happen, obviously, but I'm once again imploring you just to give refunds on books.
Oh my god,
Yes,
please.
please. Please, that would be really,
There are leaves
really
around,
nice.
You do it for weapon
but I know
materials.
just the
It's not any
tune to
different for
accompany
this.
them.
We just need a gray tier of a book that is just a bunch of scraps of piece of paper.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
somebody tore up a page, but like, oh, we can piece it together and we can make some experience.
And, you know, if I lose some weird amount, like this is, you know, like 41.25 extra or something, whatever this is. So, like, if I lose the 75, fine, I don't care. I would take that over having to, like, click everything. But I'm not going to waste a purple book when I can have a regular book suffice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm cutting off all of his little dialogue. I just realized. But
It's okay. They did, they added that whole thing where you can listen to them talk to you. So.
That
true.
is true. Thank goodness for that. Because I think I also did that on a bunch of characters.
Oh yeah, or like I'm running around and then you get like the friendship level and they start talking about like, in my past I did this, and then like Paimon's like, hey, did you see that hilly churl? And you're like, God damn it, Paimon, shut the fuck
shut
up.
up.
That's accurate.
Please. Please.
They're everywhere. Don't.
I
Alright.
think my 82 is going to come up short. You might be pretty close.
We'll see.
Because you're going to
Oh
make
my
it
God.
to 80 with what you have already.
Well, that's what's important. And I also only have enough talent books to get his skills to 8. But that's pretty solid, so I'm
Yeah,
happy with that.
8 is good. I've been stuck in the 8 and 9 range for a long time because I've been very lazy about grinding books. So
I burned some fragile resin, or
That's fair.
just whatever, this week.
And my whole party is triple crowned.
One day I'll get any crown. Any crown someday.
Yes, pat yourself on the back.
It's very impressive. Oh my god.
I was gonna say it's gonna be
83.
I don't know, you might hit like 87 or something.
It's gonna be close,
86,
but
I guess, which means he has to die.
like,
If you hold it, does it go faster, or do you have to?
oh
press
my
it at the
god.
time?
Okay, you know, Doug, I thought
That's
about the same thing earlier and then
infuriating.
forgot. So thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
I was like, if I hold R2, 88.
It's not bad.
These little
very
books
close.
could maybe get you to 89. There's no way in hell they get you to 90, but
What?
I don't know. Oh no, it'll do it.
well, it's gonna be
You're
yeah,
gonna-
it's gonna be just enough for 89, so you can just kind of get experience as you run around
Keep
with them. now.
going.
You're just what, less than a level away. How does that feel?
Pretty
Ah.
good, pretty good.
Oh god, window.
You know,
Window.
it's okay. Alright, constellations, please. Alright, and then these I'm going to steal from Zhao,
I'm not moving.
because, sure.
And I, like a lot of the internet, watched like a Tectone video the other day, and he was talking about how like leveling up his auto attack, because it levels up the plunge, actually
Right.
levels up the his little jump talent or whatever. Like the
Mm.
damage on the two talents is linked, so
Huh.
even if you're
Interesting.
if you're talenting up him for his
Oh.
Anemo stuff.
So sorry, exposing everyone on stream.
Exposed.
My face.
It's really only
They know what my
yourself,
face
so-
looks like.
Alright.
Imagine having your
Is this
picture in
can you see the little box in the way? Or is
No.
that just
No,
for me?
no.
Cool.
That's a gift for you and you alone.
That's exciting. Okay. So he has those now. That's very exciting. Boop, boop, boop.
Certainly makes sense. Boost the wind boy.
Yeah, it's
Wind.
like you'll notice it says that there's like the plunging attack and then the midair Ranzan right there in the bottom. So like
Yeah.
that's when you do the plunging attack after you've jumped up in the air from your jump, and because they're all kind of tied together, see effects using the effects of the elemental skill, blah blah blah. Like so, all of those are like if you're using him like you should, you want his plunging attack to be doing more damage, so you have to level up the normal skill and the other one.
Interesting.
What if your
So-
goal is not
Sure.
to use him correctly, but just to enjoy his presence?
Then
Honestly-
you should have like quadruple crowned him.
Okay. I like to hear that.
Also, I don't know why I'm doing the talents in this order when I know I'm getting them all to 8, but it's what we're doing, I guess.
There is part of me that's like, well, what if we just did this off air? Because what if we don't even use him today? But we had to at least use him a little bit. So
Yeah.
it's a moot point. Let's enjoy the fruits of labor. Now, Michaela,
Right, there's
you
8.
do or do not have a
Beautiful
guarantee for
boy.
yours.
I don't know. I don't know if it's guaranteed or not. I can't tell looking back at the history if the last character I got was actually guaranteed or not, if it was just lucky. So I don't know. We're gonna find out. It's gonna be.
Well, who
We're
was the
gonna
last
find
character
out
you got? Do you remember who it was that you got last?
Ayaka.
Oh, well then it's
that's-
50-50.
Yeah, you're at 50-50.
Okay.
You're only guaranteed if you get like Mona or D-Luke or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
it's good
that's
to know.
losing the 50-50. So the first time
Yeah.
I pulled for Raiden, I got Jean on the first pull,
Oh.
and then was guaranteed Raiden on the second, and had enough to go all the way to that because I was cautious. Then last time I hit the 50-50 and got Yelan.
Ah. Good to know.
Uh,
Okay.
Alright, look at that. Beautiful, talented boy.
It's like, I mean, it's not triple crowned, but we need something for Ochos.
888. And then I got his new schmancy little sword.
I love the
Ooh.
schmancy sword. I know it's not technically the best for him, but like I don't care. It's so cool.
I'm like, I think so.
Look
Yeah,
how
I mean-
cool it is, though.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
so aesthetically perfect for him.
Beautiful.
So it's like
All right.
I'm using this sword anyway. I don't care. I will fix my build to make this work.
Beautiful boy.
I have a feeling I will be doing the same on my Kazuha, just because. Yeah, it just looks too cool, and
It's
if
so
it's like
cool.
thematically tied to them and stuff, I'm just
Yeah.
like, how do I not?
How do you not use the sword on him? Exactly.
It just
Because you put it on
It's so
somebody
nice.
else. Yeah, like what am I gonna give it to Bennett? And here Bennett has Kazuha's sword. I'm like, no, Bennett doesn't need Kazuha's
wow,
sword.
thanks.
But it breaks it.
Oh god.
All right.
So there he is. You can stop
yeah.
sharing screen.
Cool.
There you go. I'm going to switch over to sharing screen with y'all. Doesn't affect the stream at all, but now you'll be able to watch this side of it. Everybody can see now, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Hide that source. So now we're on my PS5 and Michaela's game, but before you do anything,
Okay.
first of all, let me get this little box out of the way. Great. Nobody else can see that but me, but like for Kate, it's bothering the shit out of me. I'm pulling.
Oh, you're also pulling.
Oh.
I was going to do a big joke at the start about how everybody had these, like, they've been saving up because Kazuha has been wanted, especially by Michaela, for months.
Mm-hmm.
Been waiting for this reissue, and we're finally here.
Mm-hmm.
I had 10 of the regular fates, and I decided I'm going to be an ass and start by having my pulls.
Oh my god, did you get him in the...
Well, I'm not pulling for that. These are the other ones, again.
Oh, okay.
But I did hit a gold when I summoned it. Because I decided I'm not going to do that on stream. It's not worth the time.
Then you got a gold and now you're stuck here.
The only downside is I don't think they can see because I'm in the other window. Well, let's push on. Can you see this changing?
We
No.
we have a black screen.
Hold
but
on.
I don't think they do.
Can you kind of see it now, the book in the corner?
Yes.
Okay, it's going to be partly covered, I know, but it's the best I can do to have this active window up. I'm not doing this for anything besides this one pull, but I wanted to, since I hit a 5-star, I figured what the hell, I'm going to put it on stream too.
Is it a Chi-Chi? Let's see.
Yeah, there is that risk. I'd love for this to be a Mona or a Keshing. That's the number two,
Yeah.
one and number 2 goals, because I don't care about getting like C1.
What about a Jean? You don't care about like
I
a
don't
C1?
care. I mean, it would be nice for Jean. I'm not going to be upset with it.
Mona!
Hey.
Nice.
Beautiful.
There she is. Again, like Jean would be fine because I do still use her in the active party. Diluc would be fine. He's in my secondary one. But I was hoping for a new character just because it's nice to have more characters.
Oh my
And-
god.
I can now get a C1 Amber. How exciting.
You just shoot 2 arrows.
I thought it was funny. Again, I was just going to do this for the lulz. And how do I... Can I not view her here? I thought I was a button to view her.
I don't think so. I think we have to...
I can't see what buttons are what because it's off my screen on the right. It doesn't matter. I got Mona. That's what we're here for. Terrific. So that's actually pretty lucky. To offset some of my bad luck on the character banner pulls, I've had pretty good luck on the recurring banner one, like the regular one. I pulled Diluc in the 40s, I believe, and this was in the 30s.
That's pretty good.
So I guess I can't complain too much about my luck when that's what's happening, but I can complain a little bit.
Also, what is happening?
I don't know.
Oh god.
Someone's making noise.
Okay, it's Kate.
All right.
Kate, come back.
I'm closing my Genshin Impact. And now
And now... Hello, everyone.
it's time for Michaela to pull. Now, as you can see from what's on the screen, there is already a Kazuha,
Yes, he be here.
but
So the goal for today, I'm going to try and get C2 Kazuha. C1's pretty good, decreasing the CD by 10%, but really it's this one. This is where it's at, so this is what I'm going to try and go for today.
yeah, seems good.
So, Lord help me, I only have 145 wishes. I really tried to save up as many as I could. So, I guess we're just going to start and see how it goes. I'm hoping for some luck.
What's your history here?
Yeah, like how far away from you from even hitting the first one? Like,
Yeah.
do you know?
Because you are unlikely. Oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
So this could be painful.
Well,
You might not even get one.
no. Well, no. 145? It's best. That's best 90. So there's at least 50-50.
Okay.
Well, that's what I mean, though. If you lose the 50-50 and she only has 55 more polls,
Yes.
might
then
not get a
you-
Kazuha. I'm not trying to manifest that or root against her in any way. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Oh,
Well,
very
then
much
she'll
so.
just take it out on the rest of us during the tier list.
That's right.
No,
It's
your
true.
character sucks.
And there are still 15 days left. So
Right,
like,
so it's not like I'm screwed or something.
Yeah.
And I can use like the start, whatever.
Toma.
Hey, it's a Toma.
It's not a Toma.
Toma. Oh my gosh, it's a
Oh,
Hazo.
wow.
I like him, so I'm glad to see him here.
Ah, this looks so much better graphically. I love this. Please enjoy our high quality stream. I got Mona. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't even have her still. In fact, I don't think I have a Toma. I've been unlucky in that regard.
I had to laugh because I was like, I'm just gonna pull this off air. It was like 45 minutes before we went live. I was like, I'm not doing this gag. It's not worth it. I want to close Genshin because it's chewing through the resources are not being used by the streaming setup. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll just pull real quick, laugh about it, tell them the story, and move on. And then I see the gold, and I'm like, you gotta be fucking joking. So I kept that a secret from everyone.
That is funny. It's a good secret.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have the Kazuha because I pulled it a couple days ago because I was just like, yeah, I'll just do a 10 pull, see if I hit my 50-50, and if not, I'll be ready for Sumeru. But like, I mean, who can argue with the Kazuha? And then I got Kazuha, and I was like, oh well.
I know.
looks like I got him.
Y'all keep fucking up. Doug pulled a bunch on the Yelan banner. We could have done that on stream.
I got C2 Yelan. Yeah. Could have. Should have.
Could have, should have.
That's the whaliest we've been yet. Which is a word.
It is a word.
Well, I mean, it was only a 10 pull, and it was after everybody watched me pull for Shinobu a million times. I just did that one extra one, but luckily I got a Haizo as well. So I was like, oh, nice.
Oh, it's my girl, Yujin.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Was not expecting to see her here.
That was why I almost saved my random 10 pull on. I always forget which is which. The Intertwined Fate?
Intertwined is the
regular one?
This one.
No, this
Or
is
no,
Intertwined.
I forget what the other
Acquaint
one is.
Fate's the other one?
Acquaint is the blue.
Yeah. I was going to save my Acquaint one for the stream. I'm like, I'm only at like 20-something pity, whatever. And then, sure enough.
So lots of purples. Can't really complain.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than getting like nothing.
Now, you can use what little of these characters you're getting to roll for more wishes. Like, you know, the Stardust or whatever heck.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
definitely.
You'll probably have enough for maybe 1 or 2 more 10 pulls besides what you had set aside in advance.
Yes. I will definitely use them on the stream, assuming that things go badly.
Oh, yeah. Well, you've already got her then at Constellation 6.
I guess I did at some point. Yeah, I don't remember when that happened, but
So every one of her you pull, that's, I mean,
Free wish.
she's rated up, so those are a higher chance of you getting like refunds on your wishes here.
3 also makes this awkward because it's going to put you at like 73 after the 7th pull. If we make it that far, hopefully we don't. And then it's going to be like, okay, do you pull 7 at 73 to get to 80? Do you pull 10 at 73 to go 83 and then 1 by 1 if you had to?
oh gosh.
Cross that bridge when we get there, but this is the 5th pull, so we're already at 53.
Okay.
Well, at least you're getting a lot of debate clubs.
We are getting a lot of
absolutely.
debate clubs. I have to think that's a good thing, surely.
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 Surely the RNG gods would be kind.
Debate Club wouldn't fuck us, would it? It would be painful, for one thing.
Yeah, no thanks.
Look at that thing.
Of all the weapons.
Maybe the worst in the game. Not a gentle lover.
It just needs someone brave enough. That's all.
That's right.
Hazo, you will go on the B team for Spiral Abyss.
Oh.
Because you're cool. And you were fun in the trial thing.
Yeah, I kind of like this kid.
Yeah.
See, Kazuha can finally replace my Animo Traveler for
my
Spiral
gosh.
Abyss.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
If we don't hit it here, it's going to be decision time, and it looks like a no.
Well.
Because I feel like we ask this every single time, but at 75 is the point at which it starts to kind of ramp up pretty drastically, right, Jason?
Yes.
71, I think. I think everything above 70 up to 90. I think there's that 20. It's like exponential. So it starts out as a small increase and then keeps getting bigger and bigger until it's 100%.
So let's talk this through a bit.
Tomas.
If your ultimate goal is C2, I think
Yeah.
you might have to start one pulling. And
'Kay.
Jason and everybody else, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think knowing that you have to pull a second set, even if you win this 50-50, is your goal to keep going, because then you could lose the second 50-50. So, like, think about that now, even though it's kind of like, I know it's going to depend on whether or not you hit, but, like, what's your long-term plan here if you do and if you don't?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really thought that through.
Because with this much, like, value on the line, I don't think you should go into this without making sure you're confident in your decision. You're obviously going to keep pulling until you hit this 50-50, and we're going to go from there. But
yes.
pulling one by one might help you hit it earlier to leave as many wishes as possible for the second set, whether you hit them or not. If you don't,
Yeah.
obviously you're definitely going to want to make it all the way through to get a C1 if you've come this far. If you do, then you have an awkward decision to make where you could pull to the second, or I guess it would be the first 50-50. If you win this, you'll have another 50-50 coming.
Okay.
And if you lose that, you're never going to get another 90 in time to pull for 3 sets.
Right.
Kind of up to you, obviously, but
Probably the safer path traveled is probably better in this case. So should I start doing ones now? Is that
unless you really like one of the, I mean, you mentioned like Hazo might be on your B team, so you're missing out on a potential guaranteed 4-star, but that's it, really. You're maximizing the chance of hitting the 5 stars as early as possible if you start one pulling now.
Yeah, I think I want to prioritize Kazuha if I can. So I guess we'll start one pulling.
All right, so
and
this is
see what
74.
happens. Ah!
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and take credit for that.
Oh no!
I'm not going to take blame for that.
Oh, you screwed me. I mean, I don't hate Jean. She's fine, I guess.
Oh, she's fine, all right. Also, you have the maximum number of pulls available for the second set now, and a guaranteed 50-50. So you have 74.
Mm-hmm.
Your pity is 0.
Okay.
How many wishes can you get if you go into the shop
Yes.
and you were to spend your Stardust?
a great question.
She has 25.
So
So
Stardust
she get
exchange.
5 more. Oh yeah, Stardust is.
Stardust will get you 5.
Okay. Should I do that now? Just so
Yeah.
I would just
why
do
not?
them all. Yeah, because you're going to use them eventually, whether it's this pull or a later one, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I
you're
mean,
gonna be able
the
to
only
get-
reason to save it is if you want to, say, start buying the other 4-star characters that they were put in it. If that
So
makes
you
sense.
are close.
Okay.
You have 84? Yes.
84
Mhm.
now.
That is very close to 50-50. Like, you've got decent odds here.
And
Okay.
I think you could grind that out in the next 15 days if you absolutely had to.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
agree. With the event and everything, I absolutely agree.
So hitting there on 74 in the first set is pretty good because now it guarantees you're going to at least get C1.
Okay. Should I start doing
Oh, you should 10.
tens again?
Yeah, you're on a clean 0
Okay.
now, so it's pretty easy to get to 70 and go from there.
Okay.
So that's the first one.
Or you could just pull them twice. You know, I have that luck. Maybe I could press it onto you.
That'd be nice. I got that once for Eula on my other account, but it hasn't happened ever since then. So.
I think it's cool that he has a decreased cooldown. I wish more characters had that option to kind of... I mean, I know some others do, but not a ton. I like that as an
Yeah.
option to kind of just speed up the rate at which you can use your abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I've seen some solid breakdowns of him, and like apparently his charge attack is basically designed like a melee character. It's 25 stamina, not 50, like most of the catalysts are. And it can actually double swirl. Like it has a very strong Anemo application to it. For those who understand the math behind these things, so like that's really good. The fact that he can do that like without a skill specifically, like he doesn't have to use a skill or nothing, and he can just double swirl, like, you know, hit something and kind of hit it. Like that's good. That's solid.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think he's going to be a surprising, almost DPS in some builds. I think that people are putting together.
I could see it.
That's 2 more wishes, by the way. Keeping track.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Sort of, but... Well, no, I guess that's true, yeah. Those are guaranteed. We don't have the reduced price other ones, but...
Right. The other ones are always in the shop.
Yeah, those are there constantly, so you're right. Which is 86.
Hopefully you can't hear my cat Boo scratching at the door. He's,
I don't think so. Especially now that I put
That's
the game
good.
audio back on. I love how you can always tell it's Ningguang because of the giant screen.
Yeah.
Who is this, I wonder?
I mean, was that 3, 4? I mean, you're at, like, you could...
3, I think. maybe
It's
4.
pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, that's locked in. It's just now trying to hit it as early as possible.
I mean, and if you keep pulling her again, you're gonna have 90 like in this session here.
Yep.
That is pretty cool.
This is up to 40 on this pull. At this point, I think we could probably. I mean, you can go through one by one if you'd like, but we also could maybe consider skipping.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
'Cause
start button mashing.
We went through the 4 stars with Jason because he actually wanted the 4-star. But
That's fair. This is just like, yeah. That was the worst one yet. Okay.
Favonius Lance is pretty good for your Yunjin.
Yeah.
You got her twice, so somehow.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. She's not on this banner.
Yeah, I don't know how she keeps popping up, but it's
Just
fine.
on your personal banner.
Just on my personal banner.
That's what goth girls do, though. They kind of just slink around in the background until all of a sudden they're right next to you.
Yeah,
I take offense.
They're like, sup.
Like, that's just true.
Okay. So do I do another 10 here?
Yeah, this is
Okay.
just a 60.
Yeah.
I think you even do 2 more if necessary. Of course, knock on wood, blah, blah, blah. But I think you go to 70 and then maybe consider 1 by 1.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
because now it's still nice to get those guaranteed 4 stars. And again, now it's also giving you other wishes for pretty much anything you hit.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is now 60 to 70.
Yep,
Probably
this
have
will
an
get you
R5, yeah. I'm sorry.
up to 70.
Probably have an R5 stringless now.
Well,
This could be grim.
no.
It's
It's guaranteed.
I mean, the only way it's gonna be grim is if like we've like miscounted and you're actually at like 89 or some nonsense. And it's like, you know,
No. It's 70. She had 84 at the start. I was making sure to pay close attention this time. And it's a lot easier when it's not my own polls.
I was going to
'cause
say
I'm
thank
paying
you for
more
that because
attention.
I can't pay attention.
Yeah. It's
at
tough
any
when you're
point.
doing it because you're thinking about like all the other things.
Right.
you're
Yeah. Okay,
more
so
invested.
now I start doing singles.
I think so. I mean, you can make a case either way.
Oh, I guess I do have enough. I still have 10. Okay, I'm going to do one more 10. And then I think I can buy some.
because like maybe you can double pull, you know?
I think
That
this
would
one's
be
fine
the
to do.
dream.
Hey.
Ah!
Get him.
Come on, boy.
He's in here somewhere.
He's in here somewhere.
Hiding behind a debate club and maybe a goth girl.
And
Okay.
this thing. Okay.
It's a big sword to hide behind. Yes.
Yes.
There it is. Oh, wrong 4-star.
That's
That would have been
Alma.
funny.
Oh my, get out
That
of
would have
here.
been funny.
That would have been great if she was actually
boy.
here.
There's the boy.
Oh,
There he is.
very nice.
Laser sword. Oh.
And
And the
hey,
bow.
Yes, indeed.
Hey.
Yeah, I think a 10 pull was great there. You got 2 weapons out of it, and a 4-star character, and your 5-star.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on when that hit, you may have also built a little pity the next time.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All night. Yeah.
if you want to, you don't have to do it on stream, but if you want to, you can go kid him out. We all do it, so it's only fair.
Oh, I was going to go get the rest of these things.
Well, you can, but are you going to keep pulling on this?
I
even
mean, I might do it off air just because I don't know if I want to waste everyone's time trying to.
though, if you're going to pull,
get 'em
pull, but that's
C2.
Yeah, just-
don't
yeah,
feel
just start.
pressured into
Go for
it. You're only going to have 12. And go to your history real quick. Let's see what your pity is, if any.
It doesn't update for a while.
Oh yeah, that ain't gonna.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's
Oh.
right. Yeah.
Well,
Your pity's 3, right? And 4?
so it's somewhere between 0 and 8.
So that's probably not good then, right?
I mean, it's
If-
only going to build pity towards whatever you want to pull for next, so it's a extremely long shot. But if you really
I
want
mean,
C2,
I really do
Yeah,
want
the
C2.
question- Then yeah, I would pull.
Doing another 10 because I
magic
have
could
it.
happen. We've had
Magic?
decent luck on these streams overall. Not perfect by any means, but I'd say above average
Yeah.
between all the pulls we've done.
Yeah, I might as well just use them all because, like, I don't really know when I'm going to do any pulls again in the future other than, like, constellations. So I'll use them all, build the pity.
I think Mona's going to make my second team, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is a good girl. So I'm
We'll
just going
get to
to burn
that in
these,
the
and then
tier
I will go
list.
kid
Yeah.
him out properly.
Tier list is coming soon. Well, the nice thing is you don't need to do a lot of kidding. He's already been in your party, you know?
That's
so you're
true.
not like starting from scratch here with build levels, build talents. We can go
Yeah,
check
you
him
could
out.
you could kid out Haizu.
I
Haizu?
could. Actually, I don't have anything for him, but I could.
We can go look at him real quick. Be like, hey,
Theoretically.
We can look
Just
at
give him all of Kazuha's stuff.
Yeah, just give him all Kazuha stuff. Okay, cool.
It's a nice Viridescent Venerer you have there. I'd be ashamed if something happened to it.
Hooray! I got one at least. That's good. I will take what I can get.
There it is.
I will certainly help you get more achievements.
Go back to attributes. Just show them again real quick. Or weapons, so we can show off his sword, one or the other.
Oh, yes.
We can leave off with him there, and then we'll switch. Now, normally I would split the YouTube video here into 2 parts for a weekend, but of course we're live, so we're not splitting shit. I am fixing something on the side real quick, though, before we switch to the tier list. But there he is. Beautiful sword.
Best sword. And best boy.
Good attack.
Anything for the best boy.
I am going to
We'll be discussing how best he is here soon.
That's true.
Extremely so.
I was going to put some background music while we did the tier list. And I'm going to go try and pull that real quick. That's what I'm doing, working on the side. Nobody can see that, but it's what I'm doing.
You gotta put some Genshin music going.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Assuming I have the soundtrack
I'm
somewhere
trying to
where I
get
remember.
a better artifact. I'm an anima artifact. That's the 4-star that I have. It's a slow, painful process trying to get.
I've been trying to roll up the Viridescent Venerer myself because I finally have an Anemo character that I want to actually feature in the party full time, and I managed to pull a Chalice with Anemo damage just the other day.
Oh,
I'm like,
nice.
oh, beautiful. That sounds great. I don't
hates me.
I don't even have a 5-star hat yet, so still got a ways to go on Viridescent Venerer. But great Chalice, no hat, so whatever.
Okay, I'm almost ready. Hold on. Also, I accidentally swallowed the wrong way when I was drinking water, so now my voice sounds like shit.
Now you're dying.
Yeah.
Now you're dying. Sorry, Chris.
Okay, we know we can have background music. We did it for trivia night, so now I just gotta find a volume that's good, probably around 26 negative. And then we just gotta turn it on as a source.
That sounds alright.
Yeah.
You guys can hear that, right?
Yeah, we can hear it.
Someone is listening. If there's still people in the audience, there's a couple folks who might be. Let me know if that's echoing. It's my only other concern. But anyways. Okay, so the tier list. Down here are 52 characters. I've moved second of one character for no reason. I don't know why they put a second Kazuha, but it's
I don't
fine.
get it either, but I think it's funny, so.
He's down here. We're not doing him. And the 3 other new characters we're not tackling right now because they're too new and we don't know enough yet.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they're neat.
Yeah,
Some
they
more
seem
than
cool.
others. But I don't think they belong in this list right now because everybody else we have a pretty long-term relationship with. And they're kind of the new kids on the block. So we're really focusing just on these 52, 4 rows of 13. And we're just going to take them in order from the top left. This is the order it comes in on this site if you just search for like Genshin Impact tier list. More than 15,000 people have done this already. I'll talk about what the overall consensus is for each character when we get to it. But let's start at the top left. Put in Male Traveler. And go from there. We can do this in a certain order as everybody reveals their own rankings. And then we'll average it out for a group list. Or we can just kind of go when people are ready. It's up to y'all.
Well, I'll just go first. I think MC, solid B. I don't know. I mean, doesn't talk enough, but obviously has a story about them. Gets to swap through different elements. Has a spot in the party. As far as non-speaking main characters go, not terrible. I don't know. Completely average in every way. That was my ranking.
Yeah, same.
He is meant to be an insert character, and he fits that role through and through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put him in D. Just gonna start this list off nice and harsh. The fact that he doesn't talk, but then there are times when he does talk, it's like pick a lane, guys. I actually think I would like him better if he did talk because he has a role in the story and it would be interesting, and then it would get rid of Paimon, who I hate. And all their interactions drive me insane. So, and I think it's cool that they can switch through elements. I just don't ever use them in combat because there's other characters I like better. So just kind of bland for me. Sorry, Traveler.
It's a good point to raise, by the way. I forgot to kind of give the parameters. This is primarily on vibes. This is mostly about look, aesthetic, voice acting, personality, role in story. It can have battle utility as well. We're not saying that's excluded, but there are already tier lists for which characters are kind of better than others that are out there, and this isn't really about that. Now, are there a couple characters that I docked because I like them but they're useless in battle? Sure. But in general, this is more about like the character than their battle utility. I had Aether in A for Aether, but we have 3 Bs and a D and an A, so it sounds like a pretty clear-cut B to me. Now, I will say I moved Female Traveler up because Lumine is also an option, and I figured it makes sense to do it now. I have her below Aether. I have her as a B instead of an A.
I have her above Aether, if only because I actually think she makes a more intimidating villain, and so because I have male MC, I actually like seeing her as the villain a lot of times, and I think like that sort of like fallen princess vibe that can kind of shine through, that works for me. But if she's your main character, also lesbian, which I think is just better. So,
You make a valid point, but I put them on the same tier, B.
Yeah, same tier.
Yeah, I kept her at the bottom. Sorry, D. I mean, she is a cool villain, I will say that. But yeah, I mean, as an MC, it's the same problems that the male traveler has.
I have Female Traveler, and I regret it. So I had her in B, him in A. He makes for a cool villain too, but I would rather have had him as an MC because I think I agree with you that I think she would make for the better foil.
No.
Unfortunately, both in B they go. As middle of the road as it gets, it kind of makes sense for a self-insert, though. Albedo.
I'll go first on these. I put him in A. I think doing the events helped me actually care about his character. I think he hints at some of the longevity of the world. I don't know. He can be a little flat, but that's kind of the point of his character. He's like literally chalk. So that's it. I mean, they've kind of nailed that vibe in that way while still keeping him kind of interesting. So
yeah, I put him in B because of that flat. Like there's almost like nothing to him other than he's really smart in alchemy, but I don't have a good feel for his character and motivations besides alchemy. So yeah. I did not do as many events where he's involved in, but the storyline quest and Dragonspine, there was not a lot for me to like, I guess. So I just put him in B.
I put him in C.
Yeah, he's an S for me.
Oh, you go first, Kate.
Yeah, I don't know. I just really like him. I think he's a good, solid boy. I like his design. I like his personality. I like how he is with Klee.
Yeah, relationship with Klee is a big plus. So
yeah, I just solid through and through. Love that boy.
I put him in C because I don't have a really good feel for him either. I've maybe done a couple events with him, but not enough to get a really good sense of him. But the design is cool, I will say that. I wish the voice acting was a tiny bit better, but that's just me being picky, so.
Considering that Kate's taste is trash, it surprises... No, that's not true. It surprises me to no end that I also have him in S.
Whoa.
He's one of my 6 that made it to S tier. Now, I agree that I feel like there's a lot more room to flesh him out, but I actually really liked him in the Dragonspire event, so I was kind of the opposite of Doug in that, where I was like, okay, like I came in being like, he seems kind of aloof and whatever, and by the end of the event, I was like, I actually like this guy quite a bit. I think that means like A? It's 2 S's, 2 B's, and a C, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I think A seems fair for Albedo.
A for Albedo.
By the way, I haven't been doing the group rating, so I'll do that real quick. For Aether, for male MC, it's A. For Lumine, it's S. And let's see, where is Albedo's foofy hair? There it is, in S. So that's the community averages on 11,100 submitted tier lists.
Wow.
So, next up is Amber. This ought to be fun.
Oh boy. D, I'm so sorry. I hate her so much. She's so annoying, and she's like one of the first characters you meet, and she drives me insane.
No.
Like Amber's a solid A for me. I think her kit is woefully just terrible mechanically, but like she helps the main character out. I think she's really good for introducing the character and players into the game. She's always positive. When she shows up in quests, she's always good at being very empathetic towards people. Like, she's just a solid, bright, personable character. I think they sold that.
Yeah, I agree through and through. A tier.
I put her in B because I voted purely on her utility as just a switch thrower. I couldn't care one way or another about her personality. To be honest, I think she's bright and bubbly, which is nice, but it's like, okay, she's kind of one note, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think if you look at these characters as a whole, you see that there's a good, like, a third of them or more are pretty one note. On the plus side, I like Amber's note. It's a shame she's been so woefully underutilized as far as any improvements whatsoever in the 2 years this game has existed. I almost wanted to put her in A because her name starts with an A, if you've noticed the trend. But I put her in B for bad. And I think that's where she's going to go as our average goes, because I think the D is weighing her out of the A tier.
But I will say that, like, Eula's storyline or the events tying in with Amber, and soon Colette, which I know we haven't got to yet, but she eventually ties in with Amber. The fact that Amber is personable and welcomes in these people that are kind of outcasts is sold both to the main character and to outcast characters like Eula and Colette, who are from another region. And so I think it's a very strong thematic vibe for her as a character.
I agree, and I think it's also nice because I think those interactions bring out the best in her. That's true of a lot of these characters. They do well in these kind of group settings, the events do, but I think her and Eula in particular in that event, that was Amber at her best.
Agreed.
Okay, in the overall, Amber is an S tier. I'm going to go ahead and spoil this for you because I don't want to keep reading these off. 30 characters ended up in S tier on the overall list.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
People clearly have no fucking clue how to do a tier list.
That's insane.
If everything is S tier, then nothing is.
Right. That's just.
So I'll make a point to tell you when it's not S tier because 2/3 of them are.
That's fair.
Okay. Are any of them D tier? Like,
Yes.
did anyone make it? Wow. Okay.
But there are more S than anything else combined. Then A
Wow.
and D have 8. There's 4 Bs and 3 Cs in this overall one. It's
Jesus,
bad.
Wow.
that is dreadful.
That's very,
Wow.
very polarizing.
Well, I hope our list is a bit more balanced by the end. We'll find out soon enough.
Kamisato Ayaka.
She's S to me, I think, and I'll go into this later. She's kind of what Kokomi probably should be. She runs an organization. You meet her slowly. She's involved in a lot of the quest lines. You see her do the work, and you kind of help her come out of her shell, and that's kind of her character. They also give her tons of cinematics and events, so I think they sold it.
She's great. I put her in A. I thought the beginning of her story quest was a little rocky, and like there's this conversation with a woman at the pizza bar who like tells you everything about Ayaka, and I'm just like, I hate it when games do this. It's like, stop telling me about the character. Like, I want to learn this about the character on my own. Stop spoon feeding me like I'm a baby. But by the end of it, when she like dances and kind of shows that other side of herself, I thought it was great. So she is an A tier for me. I love playing as her a lot too. She's really fun. Yeah, she's a good girl. She's great.
Yeah, she's also on my A spot. Just doesn't quite have enough to get over to the S spot in my opinion. But no, very solid character, and I do enjoy playing her as well.
Yeah, I have her in A as well. Just solid, but nothing like amazing. But I like her.
That is a unanimous A.
Hell yeah.
I have her in A as well. A lot's already been said. I like her dash quite a bit. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
5 A's. I wasn't sure we'd ever have consensus across all 5 of us, but
No, I had S. I had her in S.
oh, S. That's right. Damn it. Well,
Ah.
you fucked up because it's A for
Way to go,
Ayaka.
Jason.
I know. I'm sorry. A for Ayaka.
It's right there for you, Jason. It's right there. She's an S, unsurprisingly, for the group, like the website one. Everyone's an S.
Oh, jeez.
This might be our first character to go down on the list. Barbara.
D. Sorry, she's
D.
I wanna
extremely
elaborate.
obnoxious. She is the most just boring, annoying character. Her voice acting also does not do her any favors.
No.
Sorry, Barbara.
Yeah, I don't really care
Oh,
too much about the idol vibe and
good
the
point.
voice acting. Yeah, it's like I'm sorry, it's also a D.
Which thematically, by the way, the whole like idol thing also kind of conflicts with the like I want to be like a nun and sort of a reserved church person.
Right.
So thematically, there's a bit of an it's incongruous. They want her to have this idol persona, but she's also the quietest, kind of shy member of the church, which kind of doesn't work with that. They don't mix. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty odd. So D.
Yeah, I was gonna put her in B for Barbara, and then I realized I wanted to put her in D for don't ever talk to me about Barbara.
Excellent. I like how we're inventing tiers based on the letters. This is good.
But she's your C6, you know? Yeah.
Beidou.
For me, A. I think if this was an RPG game and you had to have like a cast of characters, she's the one piloting the airship around to bring the crew. She brings in Kazuha. She's open to the travelers. She brings you in Azuma, and she's cool. She kind of sells the whole badass pirate travels the world. So
yeah,
I put her in
I
B
agree.
because she's solid, and I have her on my other account, and I enjoy playing as her there too. And yeah, she's just kind of cool. I don't really know if I have anything else to say about her personality. I don't really know a whole lot, but like it works, and like I don't know if I need to know a whole lot else right now. She's just solid, so yes.
No, yep, absolutely an A on my list. And no, I really like the parts in the story that she's in. Another Claymore character that's fun to play. She's solid.
And got the relationship with Ning Wang and everything like that. So
No, yeah, she's an S tier hot gay pirate, and that's all I have to say about her.
I was tempted to put her in S myself, but kept her in A. Just, you know.
She was right on the borderline of A and B for me, and I put her in B for Beidou. But I think the S... Oh, that's the wrong window. There we are. There's the mouse. I think the S puts her up in A.
Cool.
I'm not upset with that. She was like the last cut from A for me, but I think it's fine for her to be there. I should point out that, of course, unsurprisingly, everyone's an S. So Barbara was an S.
Jesus Christ! Come on, people, have some standards. Jesus.
I
What
forgot
is wrong with
I forgot
people?
the big reveal. We're like, guess where they put Barbara? Maybe she's the first one who's not an S. No, she's an S. Beto's an S. Everyone's an S.
You get an
Guys,
S,
if
and you get an
everyone-
S. Everyone's
If
an
everyone
S.
is if everyone is super, no one is. Come
Right?
on.
Yeah, exactly. That's so dumb. Okay.
Now I know what you're thinking. Bennett,
Oh my
divisive
God.
character. Some people love him, some people don't. He's an S.
Jesus.
But where do we have him?
I put him in D.
Oh.
I'm just gonna get mine out of the way. Sorry. I just think he's really annoying. I know he's got super cool utility in combat, but I just don't like his personality. I don't like his kind of one note quirk, I guess. Not for me. Yeah.
I think I put him higher than maybe he deserves. I put him in B. I think he sells that. Like, he really wants to try his best. He's really struggling, but luck isn't with him. And I don't know, they sell it. And the fact that his kit is so well-rounded that, like, you'd want to bring him into anything, it makes it kind of feel like he's been doing this on his own for a while. Like, I don't know. I get it. I didn't hate him in the event that he was in, which surprised me. So, I don't know. I think he's solid middle of the road.
I put him in at C, where a little bit worse, but I don't hate him. He's not going to be anybody that I really look to have in a story, but when he's there, he's fine.
I feel like I'm being too nice to these characters. I find him really endearing. I put him in A. I think he's just cute and sweet. I don't know.
And, you know, Bennett's name starts with a B, so you can already tell where I'm going with this, which is D for stop talking about his luck. Don't talk to me about his luck. Stop. Don't. So I think that's going to average him out to be like a C,
I think
That sounds about right.
which I'm okay with. He was in C for a while, and then I looked at it again this morning, and I was like, no. Because here's my problem, and I'm only going to say this once, so I'm not saying it about multiple characters. It's bad enough when characters are one note, but when all the other characters talk about that one note constantly, that's the stuff that puts him on D tier for me. And unfortunately for Bennett, the luck thing is that to me.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody around Amber was like, she's so bright and chipper all the time, she's just so chipper, I'd be like, all right, that's it. I hate her and everyone around her.
Yeah.
But S tier though, so I guess our opinions are wrong.
God. Jesus.
I was actually so surprised when I saw that list. I was like, there's no way they put 2/3 of this cast in one tier. There's no way. And there was a way. I can't believe it either, but it's where we are.
But here we are.
Chong Yun.
Best story quest. I still put him at A on my list. His kit to play with is not so great, but he certainly got me through all the way to Inazuma, where I started to stop playing him. But I think he has the best story quests, or the best character quests, whatever it is. And I put him in A.
I have not done the hangout with him. I've got very little interaction with him. He's D for me. I'll be honest. I think he's the most interesting when he's talking to other characters, and otherwise, I don't know where he stands on anything. So.
But you got so many of him.
I know. My C6 is staring at me.
Yeah, I put him in C for the same reasons of I really have no idea what this kid's deal is. I don't have any exposure to him. Apparently, he's Shenhe's nephew. Is that right? I don't know how that works.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's weird.
It's kind of random.
I don't know what to make of that. So he's in C just because I have a very just neutral opinion. I don't really care one way or the other. That could change. Maybe he's really cool and I just haven't seen it. But as of right now, that's where he's at.
I have him in C for Chongyun. But also because I think if I had to list every character in this game like a Sporkle quiz where it's like, can you name all the main characters in Genshin Impact? He would be the last person I would think of. Because there are other characters that I hate, but I would remember them because I hate them. And him, he hasn't done anything for me whatsoever. I think I have him C4, C5 as well, and I'm kind of like, cool, you're here. So
you exist, I guess.
Into C tier he goes. Guess where he is on the group list?
S tier?
S tier!
Oh my god.
I swear to God, there are 20 characters that aren't. I promise you. We'll get to them somewhere along the line. I'm going to spoil it right now. Diluc's not one of them. He's S tier. Where do we have him?
My boyfriend's gonna kill me. D. Sorry.
For
He's
Diluc.
Batman. I can't do he's just not interesting to me. He shows up. The nights suck. I'll do this on my own. I'm rich and get out of here. You're Batman. You're Batman.
I'll step in earlier in this one just because I had him in B tier for Batman.
That's beautiful. I put him in C just because he gets a couple points for having Sean Chiplock as his voice actor, but his character's just kind of there. He's sort of involved in not sort of. He is involved in the Dvalin stuff, and then he kind of just dropped off the face of the earth after that, so I don't really have a lot to go on. He's fine, so just put him in C.
Yeah, I also put him in C. I like his design and his voice acting is good, but he's just kind of boring. And Batman.
Yes. A boring Batman. Who would have thought that Batman could be boring?
They could do so much with them. He could decide he's going to join the Knights, or he's going to go against his morals, or do something to protect Mondstadt more. But he's just Batman. He's just grumpy and unhappy, and I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I put him in A because he's Batman. So
this is sounding like a B or a C to me.
It kind of sounded like a C considering everybody else. So yeah.
2 Ds, 2 Bs, and an A, I think was the final tally. So I guess we'll put him in C because the people he made a great impression on are few and far between. I will say, new outfit, pretty good.
Actually,
the high pony is very nice.
The high pony is good. That's what does it for me.
Yeah.
It's that outfit's cool.
New idol pose, pretty cool.
Outfit's A tier.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, and I have him. He's not on my main team anymore now that I got Yelan, but will I get that outfit even though it's super cool? No, because it's Diluc. Diona.
D
for Diona.
D.
I enjoyed her hangout or event, and I actually put her at B, but because it was fun. But yeah, if you guys aren't feeling it, that's fine.
Overruled.
Yeah, no, I understand. I just like her hangout, and I think she's fun.
It's okay to like what you like, and if anybody's watching, we're not trying to shit on anybody's picks. It's just it doesn't fit for our group. If you like them, cool. Unless there's one character, and if you like them, that's different. But we'll get there.
I had her in my party for a while. I really did give her a shot. I think she's just a little too cat-like aloofish for my taste at the end, which I mean might make me a hypocrite for other characters, but I just wasn't vibing with it on her, even though she's got a solid kit, I would say.
I have my rules. I don't deal with baby children characters. I'm sorry.
That's right. And it also should be noted,
Understandable.
D for Diona. Guess what she was in the group poll?
S tier.
S.
A tier.
Whoa. Okay, that's still too high though. Jesus.
Uh,
Why don't people have standards anymore? Okay.
I don't know. But the fact that we've hit so many S's really not grand. There's more S's than anything else, but we have a lot of non-S's still, so there's going to happen, and here's our first one for a while. Official.
D. I'm sorry.
D.
I think her gimmick is really annoying, and her voice acting also does not do her any favors. Her design is interesting, but I think they just lean a little too hard into her just like quirky personality, and it just does not jive with me. So
I put her in C for the personality. I thought it was like, it can get grating, certainly, but I don't hate it. I think it's enjoyable.
I guess I'll be. Look, I thought she's A for somebody who like really wants to believe it and is like totally embodying this like cosplay that she's basically doing so much that her magic has like manifested part of the story to help sell it. Like, I think she does a good job. She occasionally breaks character on accident. You get to even like see the books and stuff that like she's referencing when you do the like light novel kind of hangouts, like it's woven into the world. I think I mean, I haven't done the new event yet, but you kind of get to visit this like imaginary world of hers in it. I think they sell it. I think they sell that she's like just this lonely shut-in girl who's a bit of a weeb and a nerd and just really wants to embody this adventurous character. I think she does it. So, A for me.
I had her in B for a long time, and then I moved her into C for Crow. I will say, it helps if you imagine her as being a character in Steins Gate.
oh,
If you imagine her, and she even does a pose that's basically just Rintaro Okabe.
that is true.
If you imagine the rantings and ravings of someone who is not this person but trying really hard to be, it's also the most fun with both those characters when it cracks. As Jason kind of mentioned, it's when she breaks, it's kind of more fun with her. So I can't really put her in D, even though she can be one of the most annoying characters. I will concede. Almost had her in B. I think she settles on C in our group list for Crow. And it will not shock you that she's an S in the group one.
Oh my god. Of course. That's fine.
We don't have anybody in S tier yet. I think this is a character who has a shot. Gone you.
I put her in A. I did like the two sides of her personality when she's professional versus just out and about. But I just like, okay, she's an A. I don't have her, so I can't get more into her personality as far as like her voice lines or reading into her. But yeah, A.
I put her in B.
Yeah.
I think I like her design a lot. I think she's a really cool. She has a cool look. I was a little bored by her like secretary storyline, but it sounds like there's a side of her personality that I'm missing, so that's cool to know. But yeah, I think her aesthetic is cool. I think there's potential to learn more about her and like her even more, but as of now, she's at a B.
She's a B for me. It's the same thing. I think the secretary stuff, honestly, a lot of the kind of secretary characters are B for me. I like the parts of them that are not that. And what's the crane's name? Cloud Maker? Cloud
Retainer.
something?
Yeah.
Cloud Retainer. I think her relationship with Cloud Retainer is interesting. There's like history to her. I wish we knew more about it. I wish it was more involved. As of now, B. I want to know more. I would like to know more, but there is nothing more to know right now.
Well, I put her in S tier.
Okay, there you go.
I don't know. She's very cool. I like her design. She's pretty. I like her voice acting. And I like her little crush on Kesching. So, S tier.
Yeah, the shipping obviously helps her quite a bit. I had her in S tier. She's going to have to settle on A, given the group. That's twice now Kate and I have overlapped, and I don't know how to feel about any of this anymore. I almost dropped her into A because one of my least favorite things is Japan being like, this character's thousands of years old but doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
But in this case, given who that she's paired with, it kind of works, so it's fine. Unsurprisingly, she's an S in the group list.
Yeah.
I would have bet any amount of money on that and been right. Hu Tao.
Okay, look, I put her in C. I know that some people like her. This is one of those things where, like, really quirky, dark, moody goth girl who, like, runs, and it has, like, a really dour, like, not even, like, a dour sense of humor. Like, it's just twisted, like, handing out coupons for funerals and stuff like that. Like, it's funny. It's there. It doesn't really vibe with me, and a lot of times when she just starts talking, I'm like, please stop. But like, I get why people like her, so she's C. It isn't for me. C is this isn't for me, but I get it. So that's it.
I put her in D. Sorry. Her design is kind of interesting, but every time I hear her talk, I'm just like, please stop. I also don't really know anything about her because I guess I was never playing the game when she was in the game, so I've never done any events. I literally don't know anything about her except when I look in the character archive and I hear her talk in her idle animations. That's all I have to go on. Maybe she's cool, but I put her in the bottom because she annoys me when she talks. And I also just really don't know much about her. I think she works with Zhang Ling at the funeral parlor, which like could be interesting, but I don't really know what they do with that, so yeah, sorry, Hu Tao fans.
Yeah, I put her in B because, like, she is really annoying, but I like her design, and I don't know, she's fun. She's just if she doesn't talk, she's great.
I think it's nice that Zhang Li has to answer to her to some extent, as much as anyone does. I think that makes for a fun dynamic. I put her in C for Casket. I think her voice is still kind of annoying, so I agree with that sentiment, but I kind of like her design as well. I have no interest in using her as a character or pulling for her at any point, but I didn't hate her enough to put her in D, so she ended up in C.
Mm-hmm. I put her in A because actually I found her personality just kind of, it was fun. And the little dark humor or whatever, it was like, oh, this is okay. Yeah, this is fun. So it was I found her to be an okay character to hang out with the quest line. I did not do any events. Maybe she goes up. Maybe she goes down. I don't know. But yeah, I liked the time that I spent with her, so I put her in A.
It's A, B, C, D, D, which I guess is a C.
I guess.
Sure. Slightly weighs down the average of right in the middle of BC, so I guess she ends up there, but I don't feel super strongly about it. She was an S on the group list.
I'm just going to start rolling my eyes at this point.
That's right. Keep doing it, because Jean, also an S on the group list. Jean.
They overworked one.
She's... yeah, look, I'll put her in A. I think she's cool. I think she runs Mondstadt. You feel that she's overworked. Maybe they do it a little too much. They run it into the ground, but like, she actually gets the job together in the quest lines and does stuff. And she shows up in the last island event. So I don't know. She's got like her little relationship with Lisa, so you get to see her out and about sometimes. And I think she'll be more interesting when Barca eventually comes back. But A.
Yeah, A.
I put her in C. I think the whole overworking thing, it does work against her a little bit. I hate it when they run character quirks and personalities into the ground. We'll get to a good one later. But yeah, I memean, she's fine. I guess I have her now, so I guess I can have a more educated answer later. But as of right now, I don't really care one way or the other. She has a cool design, though. I'll give her that.
Wait till you can pick up... Yeah, and you can pick up hilly trolls and throw them off cliffs. That might change your mind.
That's true.
That does sound like a fun time.
That is fun.
I put her in B, because as far as I know, she's the overworked one, along with about 90% of the cast. So no, it's like, she's fine. She makes you an honorary knight just on sight alone, which is okay. But no, she's nice. B. Middling.
She's like Klee's babysitter, you know, kind of. Not really. I don't know. She's got to be the disciplinarian, even if she maybe doesn't want to. I don't know.
Jean was my first 5-star. Had her in A, which is enough to keep her in A for the group, even though we have a couple lower. It's 3 A's, a B, and a C. She was right on the line of A and B for me because I think her personality is okay. It's like you said, I don't mind her being the overworked one. It makes a lot of sense given her position. But there's like 8 other people who have that same character trait. so it kind of makes her seem a little more obnoxious by comparison. But one of my favorite designs and one of the best glow-ups from the redesigns they did a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the redesign is superior.
Still don't need to see her armpits, but you know what?
Says you.
Get to
Yeah.
Some people do, apparently. I'm going to go first on Kaya. This might be my most wrong opinion. And I have him in D tier. I know there are people who love this character quite a bit, and I'm kind of like, if you think Diluc's boring, what the fuck do you think Kaya is? We know nothing about him, and that's part of the fun, right? The mystery. And I'm like, no, all he does is like stand around and be aloof and show up at like really random times, and he's had nothing of interest happen. If you love him, that's fine. I'm not trying to change your mind, but he's one of the easiest choices for me. I put him in D and didn't give it a second thought.
Yeah, I put him in
I'll
C.
give-
Similar thing. He's just kind of there. I mean, it's unfortunate that a bunch of these characters from the Mondstadt, I don't know, region, they were in the beginning of the game in the story, and then they haven't showed up like at all since then. So it's hard to really like get a feel for them. But yeah, his whole like weird, aloof, flirty almost thing going on. I'm just like, no thanks. I don't care. Get away from me. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah.
D tier for me. I'll toss it out there. He's D tier. I wish he did more spy mastering, which is sort of his vibe, and he was less. He's too aloof. He's too aloof as is to the point where he is like he's paper. There's nothing inside of him right now. It's all for show. Paper tiger.
He's just a sheet of paper.
But mechanically, honestly, really solid kit. People probably underuse him in that regard. He might be one of the best cryo applicators and whatnot. But that's that.
I used him in my party for a while until I started getting better characters, and I didn't hate him for that part of it. But
same. I used him for a while because I was stuck and I didn't have anybody else, and it was fine. But I definitely swapped him out as soon as I could.
D for Drunk Diluc.
Now I will put him ahead of Barbara and Diona because it's not like he's that bad. I wouldn't have put him in F tier if we had made an F tier, but as it is, D. He's an S tier in the group list.
Of course,
everyone is in.
It's because of the man
S tier.
boobs, clearly.
It will also not shock
where's
you.
Ito then?
Yeah, well, we'll get to him. He's coming. He's a ways down there. It will also not shock you that Keshing is in the group S tier, but let's do her next.
I have her in A. I like her. She was one of the first characters I saw from this game where I was like, oh my gosh, I want her. She's so cool. I really like playing as her on my second account. She's a core member of that team. She's just really fun, and I just really like her design, and her personality's kind of fun too. So, A for me.
She's a C for me in the I get why people like her. Even I thought she would be cool, and then she was not as cool as I thought she was. It's just a not for me. But I get it. So C.
Well, I have her in S tier.
There you go.
I don't know. I like her. I think she has one of the best designs, and her voice acting isn't atrocious as most of them are. So that's enough to get her into an S.
I put her in B. I pulled her, and I mean to play her, but I just haven't found a way to kind of kit her in. So it's like I like her design, so we'll on vibes alone we'll go B.
I have her in S tier. I guess Kate and I had the same list. SSABC means pretty easy A. The thing is, if you had given me the choice just now, I got Mona, so I'm not upset in the slightest. If you had given me the choice between Mona and Keshing, I probably would have chosen Keshing. However, I have no need for her. Like, Mona will probably make my B team, and Keshing wouldn't, because I already have a fully kitted out Raiden Shogun on my main team, obviously, but also a very well kitted out Fischl on my B team. But I still would have kind of preferred that. I'm not complaining. Getting Mona and not some other 5-star character and or a weapon is a win, so I'm obviously quite happy. But I still don't have Keshing. I also really like her alternate outfit.
Yes.
This one I'm super interested in. If anyone's going to break free of the child shackles, it's Klee.
I have her in D. I'm sorry.
God.
She is not broken out of the shackles for me. I find her extremely annoying. I mean, literally, her whole thing is blowing things up or trying not to blow things up, apparently, but she still sucks at it. And her voice acting is extremely annoying. I just feel bad for the voice actresses who are told that, like, okay, you have to make your voice really high pitched and have to sound kind of convincing like a child, and it just never works. It always fails. It's so fake. I do not like her at all. So she's in D for me. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm a little baby who likes to blow things up. It's a D.
So I might be the only one here. I put her in C. I think that if you want to blow things up, she totally sells that vibe. Like, they have to put her in timeout because her mother's like an all-powerful wizard. So it's almost like you're just playing with like a god, but like the god will listen when you tell them to go in timeout. So like you're just sort of doing what you got to do. And her kit is legitimately fun for blowing stuff up. Like, you're just shooting death lasers and grenades are all over the place. I think if we're going off pure vibes, I think she sells it hardcore. The way the other characters have to babysit her all the time, the way that she'll show up in other places, or they'll reference, yeah, I heard some crazy person blew up a mountain. Like, I think it works. I agree. It's probably not the best thing. So, like, I think she's good enough to escape D because she sells it so well. But I don't know that I like the concept. So, C.
Yeah, she was the only kid to get out of D for me, too. I put her in B as, like, a neutral, because I really like how, like, the dynamic she brings to all the other characters that have to look out for her.
Yeah.
But she is also annoying.
Because, like, the Knights of Favonius are pretty boring overall, and that's sort of by design, right? Like, they're meant to protect and serve and blah, blah, blah. So, like, they're not really supposed to be crazy people overall. And other than some weird outliers like Eula, for the most part, they play it pretty straight. So her dynamic is kind of fun. I put her in C for can't believe I actually didn't vote for all the children in D tier. And she was an S in the group one.
Ugh.
Wow.
And speaking of S's, here is Lisa, who, I know this is giving away my vote, but Lisa is also an S in the group vote, which tells us that people have no sense of taste whatsoever and are clearly only in this for boobs.
Yep. She's in D for me. I actively despise her.
D.
I hate her personality. I hate that she flirts and is just really annoying, and she just doesn't have anything else useful to bring to the table.
Hey, she's a librarian.
She is a annoying librarian, yes. I do not like her.
My absolute least favorite character in the game.
Yeah, because I have expectations for her I don't of the children.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you would think she'd have, like, an air of mystery, something interesting, and she's just so boring and just annoying.
And I don't even really like playing as her.
Yeah, she's also not fun to play as either, so it's, just a double whammy of, like, not good. Her design is kind of cool. I wish she was a cooler character, honestly, but she's not.
Yeah, don't hate her design.
Yeah.
It's just her.
Just her. Just everything else about her.
I put her in C. I love her design, but her vibe as far as personality, it just yeah.
I'm a dog on this one. It's a C for me. I think when she's hanging out with Jean, when you see her kind of like pulling some strings in the nights to get things done, I think it kind of reveals that when she just decides to not be lazy, which is sort of her character trait, that she can actually, she's very knowledgeable. I think we're going to learn about her studying in Sumeru and all this stuff. I think she's sort of this Merlin character that's just decided, I'm too lazy to do stuff. I don't really want to get involved. I think if she were to get involved, she'd be interesting, but she isn't. So I think there's a lot of potential, and I actually see it when I interact with her behind the flirting, but it's not there yet. So I give it a C, as in I'd like to see more.
3 Ds, 2 Cs, drops her in D for double Ds, and that's about all we need to say about Lisa. Mona.
Okay,
well,
so
speaking of not double Ds,
if I really liked Lisa's design, I love Mona's, but like her story, I like Mona a lot. I put her in S. She is my first S character of this entire list that we've gone through.
Nice.
Wow. I put her in A. I really like her design. She's fun to play as. I like the redesign even better. The old one was just a little too, like, eye candy fan servicey sometimes, and, like, the developers knew it, and I didn't like that they leaned into it. But I really like her whole like astrology thing, and I thought her story quest was entertaining, and it revealed different sides of her personality, and I think she's just like a really well-rounded, fun character. I like Mona, and also her voice acting is solid.
Mm-hmm.
So I put her
Yes,
in A.
more witches, please.
Yes, we need more witches.
She's I'd like to see more. Again, because I'm just now doing her story quest. I think the whole like, well, I'm kind of poor. I think I don't really care for that angle, but I understand why, and them playing up the kind of oracle bit is the most interesting part of her, kind of delving into the mysteries of the world. You know, bring me more of that. You know, that's what I want to say.
You know, I too am a broke bitch with purple hair who's into astrology, and yet, see, she rubs me the wrong way. I don't know, her voice or like the delivery, I just don't like it.
I have her in the A tier for ass, and I think what's important here is what Jason kind of mentioned earlier, which is like, I think there's a lot of room for growth. You could also put her in A for like astrology or some other things, but let's be honest, as Michaela said, there was even like the event that we had last year with her in it, there was a couple camera cuts where you're like, okay, like
Right, like come on.
I know what
now.
this game is. I understood what I signed up for. I know the assignment, but like however, I think this is the right amount of like craziness. I understand why people are less interested in Fischl because I feel like that's more deep end for some folks, and I totally get it. This is at least like the right amount where she's really just using it to like, you know, get personal gain out of it and not because you think she might be crazy. So I think it's the right amount of like off the wall for me. So it's an A. I don't know what that makes the average. That's an S, 2 A's, a C, and a B. Is that right?
Two C's.
2 C's.
Yeah, I had an A.
But an S. God, I think that's a putting her in B. Because it'd be like if it was just SABC, it'd be right between A and B, but a C weighs it down. So I think she ends up. We'll put her on top of B.
There we go.
For butt. I got a million of these. I'm here all day. Hey, you want to guess where she was on the group list?
Oh my god.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, some of these you would have known walking in. Even if you didn't know that there were this many S's in the overall list, you would have guessed she was, and you would have been right. We just saw her pop up a few different times before Ningguang.
I'd like to see more of her with Beto. Otherwise, she's super boring. I think, I made the Jade Chamber. Oh, I'm super rich. And capitalism.
Oh my god, that's
Otherwise,
exactly
so boring.
Same, Jason. That's literally everything I was going to say. I also put her in C for literally all those reasons. So boring. But her design's cool. I just wish she was more interesting, and she's not.
And her kit shooting like the Geo like ranged spellcaster where she actually is just like firing off rocks, all this. That's great. It's cool to play as her. I wish she had some fucking character. Like...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree, but I did bump her up to B just because Beto. So
B for Beto.
B for Beto.
She's C on my list too, and for all the reasons listed above, so I won't get too much into it.
I have her as an A.
Oh, wow.
I do, and I think that would not have been the case before the more recent event that we went through, like rebuilding the Jade Chamber, and then obviously I think the outfit is a glow up in like the most extreme way. I actually really dislike. I don't want to say dislike. I don't hate it, but I was very nonplussed by her original outfit, and then this most recent one, I was like, damn, like it's a perfect look for her because it's like this refined adult kind of thing. So it's like, okay, now this is more what I expect. So like, ended up being surprised at how high she ended up. She was floating between A and B and settled in A this morning when I made the final list, which I think means she's just going to sit in B because we're splitting the difference again. For Beto.
For Beto.
I'm going to put her ahead of Amber. There we go. That's better.
How dare you.
Yes, that is better. The universe has course corrected.
Noelle.
I'm going to get mine out of the way again. I put her in D. I'm so sorry. I really just hate maid characters in anime and video games.
Yeah.
The trope is annoying. It's overdone. I just think she's boring. She's so boring.
I actually think her, like, visually, they sell the idea of, like, an honor guard who is also a maid, sort of like the perfect personal assistant in her design. But her personality, I think it's so boring and almost solely around that. So she's D for me.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock anybody here because I tried so hard to get her to C6 that I put her in S because she is probably my favorite among the favorites, and shockingly the only one that seems to think about bringing armor into this adventure. Yes, I put her in S.
Yeah, I put her in D.
I also put her in D. As for Dutiful Maid, I think the problem here is that she desperately needs to be a part of a fun event.
Yes.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that would probably help.
And even Doug will agree with that as we all tank her and put her in D because, like, she really hasn't done a ton of note in anything. I know she's been around a little bit, but, like, think of all these other characters on this list and some of the fun interactions they've had, and I look at Noelle and I'm like, what have you done?
If you swapped her out for just like a nameless NPC named Noelle in a maid outfit in like the Favonius headquarters, you would never know she was a playable character. Like, she's done so little. I don't know that she's been in a quest. If she has, I forgot.
Yeah.
If you were doing the
think
math
that-
on this, I feel like an S would bring her out of D, but I think with 4 Ds, I have to leave her down there. And I'm very sorry to Doug. I don't think I can put her
D
in.
for Doug.
I don't think even an S is enough to take her out of D with 4 Ds. I think C's the wrong call there. So I think she's gonna be the leader of D. But by the way, real quick, both the last 2 characters S's.
Oh Jesus.
Of
So,
course. Can
yeah.
we all agree on this character, though?
Oh my God, D.
Oh yeah.
Put her
This
in
is
the
my
ground.
least favorite character in the game.
I hate her
Mhm.
so much. Her voice acting is awful. The character design is like, I don't even really know what they're trying to do with her, and her personality is just dreadful. I hate her so much.
I don't even hate the concept of like sort of being like stuck in this body as like a zombie or whatever. Like, I think Interview with the Vampire's done stuff like that. The concept is solid. Chi-Chi is just the most, like, it's suffering listening to her talk every single time. It's pain. It's mental damage, and she deserves to be in the like damn near the bottom of the D tier. It's just damn this character to hell. I can't.
Yeah.
Also, why does she have a rat tail?
Right?
It's weird.
So many questions.
I have her in D for dead last.
Yep. Everybody's a D on that one.
All right.
Yay,
The
we can
first
agree.
consensus.
Yay.
All right, we got a unanimous
Consensus.
one, and it's all it
We
took was
hate the
this
dead
piece of
child.
shit. All right.
Wait,
now,
wait.
the-
What was that one on the tier list?
as I say, that's
I
the
gotta
trick
know.
is you have to guess where she is for everybody else.
Oh my God! Please tell me she's
I'll
a.
tell you this much: she's not S.
Thank God, a
Oh,
B.
okay.
Please put her in
No,
a
I
B
think
or
she-
C.
She
I
might
won't
be
put her in
an
D.
A. I think she's gonna be A. Her healing is super good. I think people are gonna overweigh that, and she's a meme, and people are gonna meme.
She's an A.
Damn it, Jason! You're too good at this.
Now remember, this group tier list could be sort of battle based as well. It's not how we're doing it.
Mhm.
Everybody obviously has their own criteria, so I'm sure there's some of that in here, and that's part of why there are so many S's. However, that's still no excuse for this.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to characters that actually matter, and let's go with Razor.
Razor. I like Razor. I put him in B. I like Todd Habercorn as his voice. I think he does a good job with the delivery. I also like the sort of fish out of water thing he has going on, being raised by wolves and then sort of trying to assimilate back into society and maybe being a little awkward about it sometimes. He's a darling. I used him for a very long time. I like him.
I gave him a C. Another I'd like to see more of him. I think there's a good argument for a B. He'd be like a. I probably should have been as a higher C on my list, but I don't hate him at all. I'm not wowed by him in the slightest.
Yeah, I also put him in C. He's kind of just like slightly more annoying Keith from Voltron, and you know.
Oh God,
I'm
I
okay.
haven't watched
Fair.
that show.
Very
That's
fair.
probably good for you.
Awkward voice acting. Awkward. I'll put him in A though.
For awkward.
A for awkward.
A for
A for
awkward.
awkward.
I have him in B for Boreal Wolf. So
I like it.
I think I didn't expect to have him that high. I thought he was going to fall into C, and I'm looking back on the admittedly limited interactions, and I'm like, I'm okay with that. So I think he ends up settling at a B.
Cool.
Look at this nice even tier list, except no S's. And I can tell you who's
Maybe
not
we'll
going to
get
be our
there.
first S, and that's Sucrose.
Oh, come on. She's an S in my heart.
I like Sucrose, but I still put her in D. She just doesn't like do anything. Like D for do more, please. Like, what do you? She's just like, I do alchemy, and I'm like, that's great.
She hypes up
But
Albedo.
Albedo, yeah, Albedo does that better. You're just Albedo's assistant, even in the story. Like, she needs to do something for herself. That hasn't happened. So, yeah.
That's fair. I put her in C. I don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other. I haven't seen a lot of her. She, like you said, she hasn't really been involved in anything. So that could certainly influence this, but yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing more. I kind of like her design. She's kind of adorable. She just seems really kind of simple and boring right now.
I have her in D. She is the most inoffensive D on my list, but I had her in C at first because there's a few characters I put in C where I'm like, I don't dislike them, so I guess I'll put them in C. And I'm like, don't remember a single interaction I've had with her.
That was my problem. She would have been C for me, but like, I couldn't justify keeping her up there. Like, yeah.
So where are we at on this? A couple Ds, an S from Doug.
No, I put her as B, but you know, I kind of like her. Just like
I also have her as B.
Okay.
So
I guess about a C.
That pulls her out. Yeah.
Which is fine. I don't mind that she's not in D. I think in my very first draft she was in C, and then I looked at it and I'm like, I don't know why you're here.
I think she has maybe my favorite design from Mondstadt. I think she's adorable, but
yeah,
I do
Very
like her
clear.
design.
Design is so
Yeah, if we were
cute.
voting just on that, I mean, great. I
Yeah,
love
if
the
it
way
was
her
like-
ears go into like her hair. You almost don't know she has ears and stuff. Like, there's so many great little bits to her design. Just like her little, I don't know, leggings and her little, like, she's cute. She's adorable. Her glasses. She's a super nerd, but like, that's it. That's all she has going for her.
And you can look at her and be like, yeah, she's definitely somebody's type. Like, she just fills a certain type, you know? She was an S. Razor was an S. Now, when you look at the character who's up next, you know with
he's gonna be an
100%
S.
certainty that Child is a group S. But where does he fall for us?
I put him in C.
For Child.
For Child, yeah, as you do. I mean, the villain heel turn, which I don't even know if I can really call it that. I don't think it was that surprising, even though the game was like, oh wow, look at this shocking thing. It's like, not really. I'm interested to see more of him. It seems like he'll be coming back in the story at some point, so he could move. But as of right now, I don't really care one way or the other. He just kind of exists.
I have him in B. I think you're correct. The game kind of tries to sell you the story. It's not necessarily the most believable. Like, we've all seen content that has ever existed, so we know it's coming. Having said that, I've recently watched a video breaking down like the Italian opera tropes that Tartaglia and a lot of the all the Harbingers are pulled from, and he is almost like a T, the kind of swashbuckling ne'er-do-well that you can't quite trust from the opera in the game. And I think that if you knew that or what they were pulling from, then you also would know that he's probably going to betray you. So I don't necessarily think that that's what they were even going for, and that's probably why it was so obvious. And I gotta say, I respect that, and that's why he's B. I think he's really solid, middle of the road. I think he'll get higher as he gets more story, personally.
Yeah, I put him in B. I didn't know that a little bit of those tropes, but I did. I played through his hangout event where you're taking care of his kid and not so much him, but or his kid brother. But yeah, no. As far as like his portrayal in the story and everything, I think he was serviceable. He was a B.
I put him in A. I think he's one of the most fun characters to like do a quest with. So, yeah, I don't know.
I might have him as the second most overrated character in this game. I have him in A. So I know that sounds incongruous, but I think, everybody loves the pairing of him and Zhang Ling. Hey.
I don't.
I don't really get it,
I
but
don't
more power to
necessarily
you.
either, other than like they're the same height, which some people like. Some people like height disparity. I'm not going to yuck on people's yums if that's the shipping that people are into, and there's a lot of shippers out there. More power to them. And again, I just think people be like, he's my favorite character, and I'm like, he's okay. Like, he's good. I have him in A. And I guess that means he's a B, because 2 A's, 2 B's, and a C. I mean, he's just going to kind of end up in that bad guy for B.
Perfect.
So, Venti.
I have him in D.
Wow.
I think he's so annoying, and the more I see of him in the story quests, I've soured on him even more as time has gone on. He is obnoxious, which is a shame because I like the voice actress who she does on in Persona 5. Like, she's a good voice actress. It does not work for Venti, in my opinion. I just think he's obnoxious as a Archon, and his irresponsibility and just like lackadaisical. I know that's the whole thing with like Animo and stuff. You could make an argument, but it just doesn't work for me. I do not like Venti.
Yeah.
Go for it, Doug.
I agree 100% with Michaela, so that's, you can continue on, but yeah.
Man, I don't know. I put him in A. I really dig his like trickster god vibe that he's because it just boils down to him just being almost insufferably like just a lazy free roaming drunk all the time. But like every now and then he'll like drop hints on things because he can kind of hear the secrets of the world or whatever in the wind and whatnot. So like he's very knowledgeable. He's just very content to let the world kind of handle itself, unless maybe he could help out or like, yeah, do you a favor. Like, I don't know. He sells me on that kind of god. I think he embodies it well, even when he's insufferable. So I don't know. A for me.
Yeah, I put him in B. I'm pretty neutral on him. I don't know. I don't have much to say about Venti.
I have him in D. I thought I might be the only person who had him in D. As in, do not appear on my screen, please, because now part of my annoyance is part of Paimon's problem, which is every time she calls him Tone Deaf Bard, I want to strangle them both.
Yeah.
However, the fact that it fits him is still a problem, even though she's obviously incredibly annoying. So, if there was an F tier, Paimon would inhibit it just by herself. Still, I just have never liked anything Venti's done in this game. Sorry. I know there are big fans of him out there. He's an S in the group list. But no.
He's cute. Like, he's cute. I'll say it. He's just he's got the vibes, He's got like the bow use and like he's great mechanically. I will guarantee you that's why he's S tier on the main list, one way or the other. I guess they used to call the game Venti Impact before most of us were playing around then, because all the enemies were hilly churls that could be thrown around, and he had the best way to gather and group them all.
Makes sense.
But yeah.
I think an A and a B is enough to just barely drag him out of D. But he's the end of D, or C. Sorry, he's in C at the end of it. But and I'm okay with that. I don't hate him, but boy, does nothing for me. Zhang Ling.
I think she's B myself. I might be rating her too high, but I think I've enjoyed every quest that we've been on. I like the idea of this roaming around and cooking. It's a fun aesthetic. I've never hated having her converse with me as a character. I don't know. Completely neutral on her. She's actually, I think, the middle of my entire list.
I feel like maybe I need to do another quest with her or something, because the only one I ever did was like the required story quest with her, and it was too much emphasis on like the cooking trait. Like, that's her only. It's just so one note, and her voice acting is also really grating. I cannot stand to listen to her.
Yeah.
Her design is cool. She's got a cute design. I just I put her in D though, because she really, as a character, just does not. She just annoys me in every respect. So.
It kind of makes sense with her being her like a master cook, that your paths wouldn't coincide a lot. I put her in C, so it's like running into her was fine, and I'm sure that there will be another point to run into her, but it's kind of like it's okay. You can go away now. It wasn't quite as bad as D stuff, but it was like, okay, that's fine. Just you be over there, please.
Yeah, I put her in C. I don't know. Her voice is enough to make me not use her as a character, despite how good she is. So I don't know. Her actual story and her design is fine. Her voice is so bad.
Maybe we don't like her because we're playing on the English version or something. I
Who
don't
knows?
know.
Yeah, maybe she sounds
Yeah.
better in the other languages.
Could
I wouldn't
be.
be surprised, but yeah, the voice does not do her any favors.
I wouldn't be shocked as we see one character coming up if we might like her better in another language. But we'll get there.
I had her in C for chef, which means she actually has an exact C average, 3 C's, a D, and a B. So I guess that works out. Now you might be thinking
she's
to
gonna
yourself,
be. She's S in group tier.
She's got to be an S in group tier.
Oh, absolutely.
100%, yeah.
Oh my god, of course.
There's just a certain aesthetic. That's all you have
No,
to
no,
say.
she's part of the national team. There's no way she's not.
Yeah,
the
like-
mechanics of her, she's a mainstay.
The sheer battle stuff brought her up, even if people don't necessarily love her character. So, this is kind of an interesting one to me, I think, and that's I almost forget how to say his name. Xiao?
Zhao.
Zhao, yeah. I put him in B. I think he's got a cool design. There's hints of a tragic backstory. I wish I knew more about him. Maybe that's my fault and I haven't done enough quests that he's involved in, but I want to know more about him. He seems cool. So, more please, B.
Yeah, absolutely. Tragic backstory.
Yeah.
Having done the quests, he is an A on my list. I like his. I don't like his personality, as in go away. I gotta do this job. But when you do his quest, you understand why. Is even being around him is toxic for your health, which is unfortunate. But no, I think his design is cool. His backstory is cool, and yeah, I think he's a pretty good. What did I say? B, A, yeah.
I put him in A. I would understand an S on him if he's if you really like that brooding stuff. I'm like Doug. On the one hand, he's a little too brooding for my taste, but then when you delve into it, you're like, man, I understand this. The story sells me on it. I understand why he's like that. And if it's to your taste, I get why you put him higher, but he was a solid A for me.
I put blue-haired Zuko in S tier.
That's perfect.
Yeah, he's just. I love the self-sacrificing brooding characters. I'm sorry. Yeah, emo boy wins.
That's fair. I agree with you. He's so good at that. And especially the last event that they did is so good at showing that aspect of him. It's not spoilers, right? You can't do that quest anymore.
The chasm thing.
Yeah, you can't. So him legitimately sacrificing himself for all the party members to get you out shows history too of kind of what his brothers and sisters had done in the past. It's all woven into the backstory of the whole region. You see that through his existent current character now. It's so strong with him. If you vibe with him at all, he's an easy S. So I totally get that.
Mm-hmm.
You already used the word, but it was a B for brooding. Puts him squarely at an exact A average. And he was an S tier in the group.
Oh, of course.
Because, again, of course, again, if you had to guess, you would have assumed, of course. There's so many people who are going to love that. It's a little bit too broody for me, a little bit, but I get it. I don't know how to say this character's name.
Gene Chu.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
I put him in D.
Call him XQ.
I never really liked this character. He's just. I don't even have a strong opinion. I don't even strongly hate him. I just don't care. So he's just at the bottom. Sorry.
C for Chongyun.
He's a rich boy that just wants to read some books and get better at swordplay, and I put him at C. Yeah.
He also likes to write books, and I think that's why I gave him.
That's true.
I think that's why I gave him a B in my list. I like that they have leaned into the sort of penmanship and the sort of the myth of the clan and the lost arts that they have. That kind of with the Guwa style. There's this element of mythology and martial arts and keeping it alive through story that is also told through him being an author himself and kind of keeping it going. I like that as far as an overall vibe for a character. It's not strong enough to put him anything higher than a nice solid, so he's B for me. But I see what they were doing and I liked it.
I have him in D. He's another one of those characters that was originally in C for being kind of whatever. And then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, again, I just have nothing here that I am interested in. But I guess that still leaves you in C overall. So good on you. I don't. And yeah, of course he's an S tier. Everyone's an S tier.
Yeah.
I will tell you in advance, our next character is not a group S tier.
Thank God.
And is certainly not an S tier among this group. Xinyan, where do you have her?
D. She's
D.
awful, and she's in this latest event a lot, and I hate it so much. And it's upsetting because there's characters I like that I want to see, and then she's here, and I'm just like, God damn it, get out of here! Why are you even here, you stupid, stupid character?
I really want the new event to change my mind on her, because again, I'm gonna get flack for this one too, but it's D. She just doesn't do a whole lot right now, and I don't really get where she fits in.
But that's the whole point. She doesn't fit in. She's a little punk. Yeah.
But
no,
like
dude.
I don't. But again, like we don't see enough of that even in Leeway. Like it's supposed to be the city of progress, and like we're all modern now. So like, wouldn't she be well accepted? Wouldn't she be? So like, so I don't see her being the punk rebel in the city, nor do I see her being embraced as the new acceptance of counterculture. I don't see either side of that in Leeway, and I think that's the problem. If she was like putting on performances, if you could attend a concert of hers or whatever, I think that would bump her up immensely. None of that is existing in the game right now. We're not even talking about her accent. So
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
That's
even
a
get me
given.
started on that. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but it was not. I mean, the southern accent is already, I think, hard enough to make it sound really authentic. And emotional, and to hit the right beats without it sounding goofy and without people like playing the accent. And I feel like this is what we got. Like it just leans into the accent way too much, and then like you miss any of the character emotion or depth because it's just accent, southern accent. That's all you get. It's too much.
She sounds like Sandy from SpongeBob.
Oh my gosh, she does. Yes.
Yeah, I have her in D for don't speak, which I wish she would do. I actually will have to say, I think this is the most I've liked her in this most recent event. That bar is so close to the ground, the gap is imperceptible. But she is clearing it, I guess.
God, that's kinder than me. I guess we'll see.
I'm coming to you having never heard her voice. So it's like just aesthetically, just hanging out. It's like I think she's a B, C. So not enough to bring her out of the D because of what you guys have all said, but
I will say to Doug's point, my boyfriend does the same thing. Does not play in English most of the time. Loves Xinyan and uses her all the time and is like maxed out his. So like that's
Her design is cool.
Right, and so I do think that that the voice and the kind of maybe initial turnoff of like exactly what they're going for really might be influenced by that, maybe even more than we anticipate. But I don't know. That could just be.
I liked her design.
Copium.
When she popped up as like the upcoming character for the banner, the event and stuff, I was like, this is kind of interesting looking. I'm curious what this is about. And then she opened her mouth.
I used her for a while, and because I kept my dialogue so like the audio so low, I couldn't actually hear her voice. And I didn't realize it was Southern until like recently, and I was like, "Oh God, what is this?"
Yeah, I remember being excited that she was on the Eula banner when I didn't know a whole lot about the game, and because I was like, "She looks really cool." She's like a flame rocker, and then you get that bit where like the frog comes out. She's like, oh, or whatever, and I was like, "Okay, I don't know anymore about what's happening here anymore."
I like her little flame guitar animation. That's cool.
And the little drum that like bongos when you jump with her. There's so much good about her, and it's just not enough to bring her up.
Yeah.
I'm hearing a lot of things about things that you like about her, but not enough to bring her out of D.
She might be one of the most disappointing. D for disappointed in what happened to her because there's so much going for her.
We don't have an S tier. Oh, by the way, she was A on the group list.
Thank God. Okay. This is
not an S. Ugh. Still probably too high, but whatever.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's fair.
We don't have an S yet. Is Zhang Ling a potential S?
I put him in B. He's a main party member for me. I think he's really cool, and I liked his I think his first story quest I did with like the Salt God. All of that is so interesting, and his history is really cool. But personality-wise, I think he's sort of been memed to death, and that's sort of impacted my enjoyment of him because the voice acting, some people either really like it, thinks it sounds sexy, or some people think he sounds like he's a psychopathic murderer. So, mileage will vary for people. But I like Zhang Ling.
He's the same voice actor as Shido from Persona 5, so if you hear that in him, you're going to get the same results from both characters, potentially.
Yeah.
Could be sexy, could be deranged murderer.
Right. So, he's really
Who's to
cool,
say?
and I put him in B just because he has a lot going for him, and his toolkit's really great. I love his history as the Geo Archon, but, presently, he's, good. He's fine. He's good, but not, great.
I will include Dragon 375's vote in our little discussion as an S. But as far as me, I think he's a solid A. I did like his character. I liked his just exploring the world and figuring out, because he's pretty much ageless. That learning the history of the world and just exploring with him, and he's like, oh yes, this is woo-woo. But no, I liked him as a character. I'll put him in A. And his moment in Genshin in a nutshell was excellent.
He's a C for me. I'd like to see more than just memes about his Mora. Because for some reason it keeps going back to that even in the game. He'll show up in that tea or the bartending event and he's still poor, and I'm like, I get it. Whereas you watch his trailer and you get all these hints that the first contract of Liyue was to protect the people, and the last contract was sort of them proving they didn't need him anymore. There's this great depth of him being the old actually allowing the new coming in, and that dynamic in a god, especially one that normally would be stubborn and earth-like as the Geo god, it's so good. But every time he's in the story, I feel it's so boring, and I wish I could see more. And he's just poor all the time, even though he literally makes money, rubs his hands together and prints money, and he's poor all the time. And I get that that's the joke, but it's not funny to me. So.
Yeah, it's a little too overplayed, unfortunately. Like you said, I mean, some of those other aspects of his personality are far more interesting, but I feel like we just get the jokes. And that's kind of why I dropped him down I was going to put him in A, but I put him in B because of a lot of those reasons, so.
I put him in A. I like his design and voice acting and story. Just, I don't love it, so A.
And I have him in B, as in, boy, he must love the sound of his own voice. Because every time you talk to him, it's extremely long-winded, which is the point. Sure, I get it. But, I don't know. It was a close A-B for me, I'll admit. And I think, just given where we're at, I saw Dragon's vote as well, but I think he has to fall in B. We'll put him high up in B, here-ish. But I think that's as high as he's going, given the group's dynamic, unfortunately. Sorry, Zhang Ling fans. I think he's, of course, an S.
Of course.
In the group.
Of course. That does not surprise me in the slightest.
Rosaria.
D.
I hate her.
D.
The whole nun thing, but she's also a murderer. I'm just what is happening right now? I don't understand what they're trying to do with your character, and her design, her redesign is so much better than the old design.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Still D.
Yes.
So confused. I mean, she's still a D, but yeah, at
I
least
put her in
sexy nun.
right. It's just what is happening?
I put her in C because I'd like to see more of her, and I think she actually has some interesting dynamics, and the sort of maybe using the church to hide her activities, or maybe she thinks that's what she has to do to protect the people or to serve them. I think a religious assassin is a theme that is solid, but complete failure for them to do anything with it right now. So she deserves to be in D, but I gave her C. So.
Yeah, as far as her impact in the story, there was hardly any. And you can certainly see more of her if you choose her original outfit. But
If you weren't going to say it, I was.
True.
But no, I don't think she's had enough relevance in the story. I only saw her once during the Dragon's Spine Albedo event.
And that was all I needed.
It was just her causing problems, pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah, there isn't enough there to really pull her out of the CD territory.
She is an S in the group list.
Oh my god.
But she's a D for us. Eula.
I mean, okay, I'll be the one. I put her in S tier. I know she's a bit insufferable. She can be a little too much on the vengeance. But I think when you get to know her and you realize, especially when you see her with Amber, I think that's the one that even turned me on it, because I was even like, Eula, come on. But when you see that, like, she even kind of does that with Amber sometimes, or like, it's more like I don't know, it's just how she copes. It's her copium. But like, I think if we're just judging vibes, the dancing in her animations, the like royal fluid, everything is really pristine about her. I don't know, and you see that struggle of her being on the outside. Honestly, a lot of her relationship with Amber and the people of Mondstadt, I think, is what sells it. I put her on S. I pulled for her. I like the design, the aesthetic. She's got like the tie. She just looks like nobility. And she attacks like she's nobility. There's so much of that boiled into her, and that's, I think, a really solid distillation of that archetype. Even though she, you know, but sometimes I just want to rack and ruin, and she does that for me. So like, you know, I'll be the one that puts her in S. So that's me.
You know, if we had done this list a year ago, I totally would have put her in S too, because I also tried, you know, desperately to pull for her on my second account because her design is so good, and her conflict about like not really being part of her clan anymore, but then not being really a part of Mondstadt and the Knights, like that's so good on paper. But they do such a trash job of execution in her story that she actually dropped down for me, and now she's in B. Because, like, yeah, her design's really cool, but her personality is paper thin when you boil it down. All she cares about is vengeance, and, like, that's all she ever talks about. And it's just so boring. And maybe I didn't see the event with her and Amber, so maybe that is truly the... Like, maybe that will change my mind. But as of right now, I thought her story quest was an absolute disservice to her. I think it sort of soured me on her a little bit, which is a shame, because her design is great, and her conflict is really cool on paper. I just wish it was done better.
Michaela spoke for me pretty much. I also put her in B for exactly the same reasons. No. Like, you hit every note perfectly as far as like what I feel about Eula. It's yeah. You just spoke for me, and in every sense of the fashion.
Okay, you don't have to keep saying words to say same.
Same.
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna start a fight. I put her in D.
Whoa! No, this is intriguing. Do tell.
She's so annoying. I also don't like her design. And I don't know, she just like, every time she's on screen, I'm like skipping her dialogue. I hate her. I'm sorry, Jason.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. It's not everyone's taste. I have a feeling I've got a few like that.
She's the only gay person in D tier. I'm sorry.
Doing her D for doing her dirty.
I have her in A for a lot of the reasons that are already mentioned. I give her a little bit more leeway than some do. Her dialogue can be grating at times because it is so one-sided. It was funny the first few times, and it's one of the most grating over time, I think, because everybody's lines get a little repetitive, no question. They're the same like 10, but like hers in particular stand out, and I don't think it's a good way overall. But I do really like her design. I don't mind the idea of it, like you said, offsetting the whole like nature of like, oh, she doesn't fit anywhere. The Amber stuff helped, and the event where she was drunk helped, because that actually gave you a window into her true personality and not the act she puts on. But I get why some people don't give her credit for that. I think that averages her out to a B.
The fact that those events are, like, you cannot repeat them, they don't exist anymore, is a huge travesty to her character, because if I had not seen those, I also would not put her as high as I did. Even though I use her all the time.
That's a part of the score for me, because those were both really handy of being like, oh, look at this. Like, she's a normal human being, and now you just get to see the human part. We'll put her next to Amber because that's appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
They were good events. They just weren't enough for me. I'm sorry.
I did like the drunk one. Yeah, like you said, that was a good step in the right direction, just not enough to really totally change my tune yet.
Yanfei. Oh, Eula was an S tier, of course.
Oh my god, of course. I put her in A. I like Yanfei, actually. I like that she's really smart, and a good lawyer, very savvy at what she does, and I liked her involvement in the Liyue story quest for a while. I enjoyed talking to her. Her design is cool. I don't really know if it makes sense for a lawyer to wear that, but what do I know? She's like a lawyer witch. Do you, Yanfei? Put her in A, so.
I was going to put her in S and dropped her down because I felt like the lawyer, but also occasionally does like weird adventuring, sometimes feels a little incongruous. Like, maybe you should just go like do be on trial or like go help families a bit more than maybe I bump into you. But I love her personality. Like if this was just personality or voice acting, easy S. She's like top of A for me. When she just starts rambling on, sometimes I'm like, okay, Yanfei, like not right now, but like the bubbliness, the way that the voice actor delivers the lines, it feels very natural to somebody who's geeking out about the law, and that is her character down to a T. This is where the voice acting works for a character instead of hinders it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I put her as A. There isn't too much more. I'll just say it, same.
You can start going earlier so you don't have other people saying what you're going to say. You know, you don't have to keep waiting.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't want to be mean.
More fighting. She's a D.
Whoa! Do tell.
I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like her whole lawyer shtick. Her outfit is one of the worst. I just don't like her. I'm sorry.
I have her in B, and that was when I leaked in the group chat before. Everybody knew that already. I'm torn because I really like her overall, but I don't feel like the lawyer stuff matches her aesthetic. Not just because of the costume or like that part of the design, but like the voice. And it's like, this is someone who has like all this seasoned knowledge, and it's like, okay, maybe she's a prodigy. Like, I get it. But I don't know, there's something that's incongruous about it to me, so I couldn't go any higher than B. 3 A's, a B, and a D. I think I'm going to leave an A, because Jason's was close to an S. So I think I'm going to put her on the bottom of B. No, I'm going to put her on the bottom of A. Instead of the top of B. I'm going to leave her an A. If there's anybody, I mean, if Kate, if you're like, no, I understand, but.
No, I'll allow it. It's okay. I know how much Jason likes her.
Well, and I gotta say, just even for mechanics, I like the 3 hits, charge attack, 3 hits, charge attack. Like, there's a bit of a gameplay swap with her that you don't necessarily get with some other characters, where you're just spamming whatever button or attack that they have. And I think that a change in playstyle is also points towards her overall, although I know we're not judging on that, but.
She's an S. Kazuha's an S, although only the main Kazuha. The second portrait's a D.
That's fine. I still don't know why the second portrait's there, but oh my god, do I love Kazuha so much. He is the reason I got back into this game. I love his story trailer. It was beautiful. It ties into the Inazuma main campaign beautifully. His character is nuanced. He has an interesting conflict and motivation throughout the story. Trying to avenge his friend, and he's like part of he's a target in the Vision Hunt degree, and he's so good. He is the most well-rounded, balanced character. I put him in S. He is my only S tier because I feel he is truly perfect. He just hits all the marks for me of having good writing, good character design, great utility in combat. He just ticks all the boxes for me. I adore him so much, and this event is also helping him a lot, so yay.
Yeah, same. Easily the best character in the game.
I will say this through maybe it's a bit long-winded, but if there was a quest where main character gets poisoned and is dying or put to sleep or whatever, and Kazuha is there with him or her and is like, I will take up your search, I will find them for you, I promise, and we swapped to playing Kazuha as the main character, no one would complain. The entire story would still work. You could still travel the world with him. You'd still have all these allies. You'd still have this sense of honor and completing the quest, and no one would complain because he is easily main character material if this was anything else.
Yes.
That's how good he is. That's why he's an easy S tier, if not S+.
I think Kazuha might be everybody's S tier across this entire stream. Like, he's a solid character, canonically the only one to actually be able to use 2 visions, albeit briefly.
Yes, yeah.
He's a S tier character through and through.
If this was any other game or anime, he would be the main character, hands down. No.
Thunderhead mentions he also can hold off riding a Shogun. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's true.
That's a point in his favor. I have him in A tier. Sorry, everybody, I don't love him as much
Boo.
as you do.
Boo!
So it's not a unanimous S. He's still going to be our first S.
Yes!
Very clearly.
As he should.
I will say, not only is the main protagonist, that point's super strong for 2 reasons. 1, the ones you guys mentioned, and 2, it would mean no Paimon.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So it would be a win for multiple. Like even as the guy who's not the biggest Kazuha fan, as that trade-off, I'd also be like, yeah, 100%, I'm on board. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But alas, we're stuck with what we have instead. And again, that's not really a reflection of MC as much as it is MC's companion, Yoimiya.
I like Yoimiya. I have her in A. I think she's maybe a little too one-note with her fireworks, but I like that she uses them to help people in the story quest. So it's not like totally worthless. Like it's a fun hobby, but it's also like helpful sometimes. I also really like her design. It doesn't really make a ton of sense to me in terms of like you're working with fireworks and they're dangerous. Why aren't you wearing more clothes? But also I really
shield.
liked using her in combat too. She's fun. She's a good pyro. So yeah, A tier for me.
She's an S tier for me. I think, I mean, speaking to the design, I do think it's sort of like maybe she has some burns and they're like bandages for that or whatever. You know, without making her look scarred or like Zuko or whatever. But like, I think even the goldfish kind of thing, she talks about having a goldfish. The idea of enjoying the moment that you're in and weaving that almost sense of like eternity in Inazuma into the fireworks, that one moment that you can just hold on to and enjoy, even if the like times are tough, finding the little joys in life, the memory of a goldfish being so small and just moving on. That's a very like Ted Lasso kind of thing. Like that's so sold so well in her. I think she's S tier for that reason.
She's also an S tier for me. I'm a Yoimiya main. I love her design. I love her personality. Yeah, she's wonderful.
For the moments that she came up in the story, I always enjoyed them. I think her design is very good, even though I think she should be wearing something, at least in the front, to for explosions. But no, I put her as an A on my list.
I would like to see her get a new skin.
I would love
But-
that so
Same.
much.
Yeah.
I actually don't even necessarily mind her design. I like it overall, and I think it kind of fits her region. I have her in A. I'm still going to put her in S for the group. Even though that's 2 S's and 3 A's, I think we've had such a hard time with consensus that I don't mind her being up there. Because she was one I thought about for S. I just feel like maybe because I don't have her, I don't have enough of a connection. But I liked everything she's
I'm gonna
done.
pull on her. So like I have I'm not even close to like even 50-50, but like I'm gonna just start throwing stuff at her banner on just the raw chance I might get her, because I think she's good mechanically, and I want to have her tell me about Goldfish and wave her Sparkler around for no reason.
Yeah, she and Ganyu are going to be tough for me because they're both characters I'd like to have and I don't really have a need for now, but maybe. I can make more of a case for her than I can for Ganyu.
Thunderhead says in chat that Yoimiya is also great with Clades, as
Yes.
he's befriended Cleet.
A natural overlap, bombs, explosions.
Yes.
She's an S tier.
Yeah, she's a good example of a character who likes explosions, quote unquote, but in a way that isn't obnoxious.
So that we can keep this under a tight 3 hours, is anybody not putting this next character in D?
Nope.
No, she's absolutely in D.
No.
So kill her with fire, please.
Great. I'm going to put her between Diona and Chi-Chi because Chi-Chi is the worst. But
Yes, she can join the children.
great.
at the
We
bottom.
saved a lot of time by not wasting time on a child that nobody cares about.
It's true.
Raiden Shogun.
I put her in A. I thought she was a really compelling villain. And then I also really liked her character, story quest, what that did for her, in terms of her journey with grief and trauma. And I thought that was beautiful. And it definitely added a couple extra points in her favor. But she's still just an A for me. But the design's good, her involvement in the story is cool, and yeah.
I mean, I'll say all those reasons, but that made it an S for me. I think you feel the dread and the sorrow and the mystery of her personal struggle in the islands of Inazuma and the dangers of the lightning. Her character in that entire region and story are so interwoven that she almost gets a buff from that being one of the best expansions to the game so far, and that bumped it up to an S for me.
With how everything has been proceeding with the Archons, I think she's easily an A. It just makes me more excited for what's going to happen in this next area, and maybe I'm hoping I won't be disappointed. But Raiden Shogun as an antagonist, and then with everything with her dead sister, spoilers. No, she's easily an A in my list.
Yeah, I put her in A. I think the amount of like doubles she has is a little confusing. Just that she's like A, and she has a twin sister, and she's Raiden, and she's somehow Scaramouche. Like, there's a lot going on there.
Oh yeah, that's a good point, actually.
I do like her.
I have her in S, which means she's going to end up in S because that's the exact same vote as Yoimiya just got. 2 S's, 3 A's. And it's for a lot of what you already said. The S is for Sakoku degree because I think that's kind of funny. There's those 2 Fatui who stand right by the spawn point in Mondstadt, and they keep talking back and forth to each other. They're now talking about the chasm because that's the more recent thing. But for the longest time, I kept hearing about Sakoku degree. What a cool concept, though, like banning powers that people have and trying to maintain this sense of like never changing. All the stuff's cool, and I also think it's the best boss fight in the game. I think just because the thematics of it, the importance of it, knowing what leads to it, the music, all of it combined. And there's really good boss fights in this game, but I think that's my number 1, and it's not super close.
The story, what she does for the story is huge, because up to this point, I thought the story was very meh in Mondstadt and Liyue, and this ramped it up big time where I'm like, oh shit, okay, here we go. Things are getting interesting now. I like this. So.
And as of the 3.0 trailer, we can now confirm what we already thought we knew, is she's got the only Harbinger kill.
That's true.
Yeah.
True.
No, like she feels like an antagonist, and I gotta say, Inazuma, the expansion, did so much for this game of making it feel like there's a sense of danger, to make it the sense of tragedy, to make you feel like these characters are like real and there are actual struggles, and we're not running around in anime like a little happy-go-lucky anime all the time.
Yeah,
to your
She
point,
is so important to that.
I was not super sold on Liyue. I think it's a beautiful region. There's a lot going for it. I don't dislike it by any means. Inazuma was what made me being like, yeah, I'm playing this game like for real again.
Yeah.
She was not an S.
What?
Of all the fucking characters,
Really? Are you?
who's not an S,
What?
she's an A. And it's like, but even with her battle utility, she should be an S. So I have no
what
idea
the-
how that happened.
So the universe is cursed, is what you're telling me.
That's correct.
There are no gods. Everything's just doomed.
Apparently so. Yeah.
Wow, that's some bullshit. Okay.
Kujo
Okay.
Sarah.
B.
I put her as a B too. She's fine.
I gave her B.
I have her as a B.
She seems cool.
also
I don't
have
know
her
how
as a
the
B.
hell she killed Kazuha's friend, but okay, maybe he's a 3-star.
He didn't have good artifacts. He wasn't well kitted.
He wasn't kitted out for that, but I'm just like, or maybe she didn't technically kill him. How did he lose to her and then get killed by Raiden Shogun? That's the more accurate.
I think
sort of
she,
events.
in the story, represents that, like, straight man of, like, the cops, so to speak, in Inazuma. Like, we can't see Raiden all the time. We need a face for sort of, like, the stoic, impassible, authoritarian regime that's running the place right now. And you seeing her deal with the corruption within it and stuff like that humanizes them to a degree, while her also being so impassible personality-wise still lets them be that. Like, she, I think, is great for that role, and she does it so well that I give her B. But like, I don't use her, and I don't think she's super interesting. But I respect it. I respect what she does.
Yeah.
Okay, did you give a B? I couldn't hear.
Yeah, it was also
So
a
5
B for me.
Bs.
Wow, we had a consensus again. Look at us.
I mean, I think that the straight man's the perfect descriptor for it because she's serving what we just talked about with Raiden Shogun, some kind of crazy multi-body eternal being that doesn't know about the world around her, and then Yae Miko, who's a constantly fucking troll. So she instead has to be the straight person for all this to hold it all down and then have the public front, and she does it well. Kokumi, sounds like Jason's not going to have as high as I thought he might, given his earlier remarks.
I did put her in S. She's not super high. I know.
Whoops.
Like, I put her in S because she's a character who, let's put it this way, I wish they did more with her, but I still respect what they did. I think if you do the Enkanomiya stuff, if you do all the extra little things around Watatsumi, you see that she's involved in so many things, and you see that she has these plans and clearly has access to knowledge. She feels like a ruler in the sense that she is always acting through her insubordinates. She has always got a plan. She seems to know things and pass things on very well. She is, like, on textbook, exactly the kind of ruler you would want, and that is who she is, and they sell that so well. Plus the whole, like, fish to dragon, all that stuff ties into her people and the lore for her area. There's so much they do so well, But like I said earlier, I really do wish that I could see her on the field more or interact with her in those sort of leadership roles the way that you do with Ayaka when you're interacting with her. I wish we got more of that, but I still respect that how Kokomi does things is a little different. I don't know, and I'm sure it's just bias. I use her a lot, so like, but I do think that she sells it and is tied into the lore of her region that has a whole chasm worth of content floating around about like the ancient history of the world and the dragons, and that's why she feels like she belongs in Inazuma, but not quite. She almost doesn't even look human at times. She's almost too pale, and when you find out that they're from this like underground, underwater Atlantean sort of like place, it does feel otherworldly, and I think she kind of sells that. So I really do love the vibes of how they work all that into her. I'd like to see more of her though, even though she's S tier. So
I put her as an A. I really like her design. I did try to pull for her once upon a time, but I got Mona instead, so Mona's my water person now. But I did try for Kokomi because I love like the mermaid aesthetic with her, and her design is just super cool. I wish we could see more of her, like even outside the leadership, like just more casually maybe, but I don't have her, so maybe you do get that, and I wouldn't know, but I do like her, so I put her in A, but more please.
I put her as B. I did like. I think she's okay, but the whole she's prepared for everything. She's clearly intelligent, but I feel like she should be more of an adult character. I don't know. With her intelligence, I feel like she should be older than what she's portrayed as, and I thought the whole point system as far as her energy level in her hangout it was kind of almost a little childish. But as far as I did the hangout, I enjoyed it. I just something's not hitting with me with her.
Yeah.
That's fair. To me, it always struck me as like she's not ready for the kind of responsibility she's been given, which I think kind of fits the story. Like she's maybe a bit too young, that she's just kind of working this all out on spreadsheets. She's kind of following the book, and that's why she keeps handing out books to people. But yeah, I totally understand why that rubs people the wrong way with her. I think they could do better by Kokomi. And I say that as like the stand for her in this conversation.
I put her in A. I think she has one of the best designs in the game. I love her whole like pearl motif. But yeah, she's missing something. I don't know what it is, but
I have her in B for those same reasons that you and Doug kind of mentioned, although you had different scores for her, which is just like I need you to show me more of her being this like tactical genius and not just telling me, because the type of character that she is doesn't really seem to match that, because she does seem like this like sleepy teenager. And that's fine. She's been thrust into this role. She does it admirably. But to me, it's kind of like, maybe that'll improve in the future. It still puts her in an A, S, 2 A's, 2 B's. But that's where she's going to settle. By the way, she's an A.
Interesting.
Kujo Sarah's an A. And what you're going to notice is that there are no more S's. So to me, what this means is that over time, as more characters have been added, they haven't had as much time to get a foothold as earlier characters did, because there are 0 S's left, and there's a couple that probably surprise you.
Or people aren't going back to retake the
Correct.
the thing, and so it's being weighted towards the older characters.
Yes, because that was the other thing I noticed when I was looking at like what the hell this was, and that quickly became apparent. Like, this is listed by order of release that we've done this in, and that's why. Because there are no more S's coming, so that could be why Raiden is where she is too. Although I'm still stunned she wasn't an S.
Yeah, that does seem surprising.
Aloy, we don't need to spend a lot of time on because the game clearly hasn't.
D. She's my lowest character. I put her at the bottom of my D. Get her out of here. I love Aloy in Horizon. One of my favorite protagonists in gaming, and she's woefully misused in this game.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I put her in C if only because I want to encourage Genshin. Like, I think the crossover idea is interesting, but I wish they would actually do it in a way with a little more care and a little more love instead of just slapping a character in there. So I do think it was a disservice to Aloy. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing more crossovers like this in the future. I would just want it done with a little more love or care.
Yeah, like, why does she have a vision? Like, there are elements of that like I don't understand. Like, give me a single quest with her, with whatever voice actor you picked out, so I know why she's here and she has a vision, and maybe I care more.
Yeah.
But all it does is introduce more questions than answers, and I don't like that.
They're trying to do too much and falling short.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I don't think I'm going to contribute much more. It's a D.
She's going to end up in D then. I have her as a C for crossover, as it were. Already was mentioned. Kind of a bummer not having Ashley Birch, although I understand why they weren't going to shell out for that.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, yeah, I mean, I think it's weird that she didn't fall into D when others did for not doing anything, but I'm almost like, I liked the idea. It was cool news when it was announced, and now nothing has come of it.
Right.
So,
They did nothing with it, which is such a shame.
She's also like kind of trash as a 5-star.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
no constellations. So like,
yeah.
and like her cool weapons, her bow, which legit looks cool, is PlayStation only. And I'm like, well, now the crossover is holding her back from me caring. Yeah.
That hurts her. And it's a free 5-star, so normally I'd be like, great, the game should probably encourage more of that, but if it's going to be half-assed,
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I'm going to go first on Toma, because Toma is the one that surprised me the most. And I thought that was going to be true of, like, I don't know, Venti, as dropping all the way to D. No, I have Toma as an S.
Whoa!
What?
I
I
can
have
see it.
Toma
I can see it.
as an S. Your
Please
move.
explain. Do tell.
Because every interaction I've had with him, I find him to be delightful.
Aw,
To
that's a
me,
good
I
word
think
for
he's
that.
everything that child lovers think child is.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So I know
I
that's
think-
kind of weird, and it might be higher than everybody else. He was my 6th and final S. We haven't gotten to all my S's yet, but that was the last one I had as like the rankings. He was the last one who made the cut because I was like, every time he kind of crosses our path, he's just helpful, friendly, has a good sense of humor, good voice acting. Like he's solid in combat. Like everything's a win for me. So weirdly enough, he's an S.
He had a cool moment in the story too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put him in B. I like Toma. I kind of just want more of him at this point. He had some cool moments and cool beats in the story, and then he kind of hasn't come up since then. So I want more, and I think there's potential for more, and to go beyond just like, oh, he's the family servant of the Kamisatos. Like I think they can do more with him, and I'm hoping for more. So I put him in B. But I like his design. He's cool. Voice acting is good. He's a good
I
character.
agree. That's
Yep,
what holds him
yep.
back for me. He's a B for me. I think he's too one note to be higher, but that one note is played flawlessly. So I understand why he would be higher.
You guys know that I already put Noelle in S. And Toma is Noelle but better. So if anything, he's also an S.
I mean, I'll echo Jason and Michaela and put him in a B, because, yeah, he is solid. I want more of him.
Pretty
That's-
squarely an A.
that's-
2 S's, 3
that's a good
B's. Feels like an A pretty through and through.
Mm-hmm.
Ito.
Ito's also S. I love his character. I love like how brash but heartfelt he is. Like he's hilarious without really trying to be. Ito's an S. He can't be anything but an S.
Well, I have sad news for you. I'm sorry. I put him as a C. I like Ito. I think the recent Oni quest was actually really solid for him. It added some depth and humanity, but he's also hilarious. The voice acting is also very, very good.
It's our boy Ryuji.
Oh, that's why I like him. Okay, that
I was
makes
surprised he
sense.
wasn't higher for you because of that.
Damn it. Oh well. This
Not
is
too
where
late
it's
to
at. Okay, you know
I
what?
changed one of mine on the fly. By moving
Did
it up
you?
one spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit. Maybe I'll do that then.
Make him a
because
B.
I do like Ito. Yeah, he's a B.
Okay, there you go. I pressured her, Doug. I converted her.
Good.
Thank you.
Look, he's on my S. Every interaction with him is hilarious without being like a one-note joke. I swear they find new ways to have him be comedic every single time, whether it's like he misunderstands what Shinobu's doing and then he's sort of like apologizing, or whether he's like failing to beat children at like kids games but he's really trying really hard, or like every time I feel like he is going to be one note, he's not one note, and I still find him both hilarious and endearing. Like, I want to help this guy out. I understand why Shinobu's there and like believes in him. Like, he wants to do good. He's just kind of too himbo to do it, and like I respect that. So like, I don't love him enough like to play him or to like roll for him. But when he shows up, at first I was like, I don't know about this guy. But the more I interacted with him, the more I'm like, you know what? Bring more Ito in. Just do it. That's fine. Like, I enjoy it.
Ito's in my S tier too.
Wow.
He's great. He's so fun. I'm like begging Genshin to make more characters like him, like have fun with the dialogue, because so many of them are just like, I am cool, blah blah blah. Like he's so fun to listen to.
That's true.
It's tough
Love
because
him.
the world is prim and proper, right? So like in
I know,
theory, a
but,
lot of
like,
these characters
oh.
being that way makes sense, but we're the standouts of the world. We're the unique ones with visions and stuff, so we should stick out more.
Yeah.
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 I also like that all of our S tiers so far are the Inazuman characters.
Hmm.
It's almost like the writing got better over time.
Yeah, it's almost like they started hitting their stride at a certain point. Yeah.
I didn't actually give my score. I had him in A. He was the very top of my A. I couldn't put him in S, but he was
He's the
very
bottom-
close. So
bottom of
3
my
S's, a near S, and a B seems like an easy S to me.
Yeah, he was my last S.
So I'm interested to see where exactly Goro ends up. I'll just go first real quick. I didn't really have anything really strong for him. I think he's fine. I had him in C.
I had him in C2. I'm with you. I don't really have a lot to say. He's Kokomi's right-hand man, and he plays the role well, but there's really not a whole lot else to him. I wouldn't mind getting more substance at some point. Yes, sort of get that in the Heizo hangout, but not really.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's fine. I think there's room to grow, but I like that he's like a part cat person. I still don't really understand how that works in this universe, by the way. Like, we have elves and
Yeah.
cats, but like, why?
Don't talk about it.
I don't know, but, whatever. Yeah.
Also,
Design first.
Keshing's like not.
And then
No,
Keshing, yeah,
that's just
she's
her
somehow
hair.
not. Exactly. I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
Weird.
So weird. I
That's
don't
the
get
best
it.
way to placate furries, though, is make it look like it's a furry, but it's actually just hair. So everyone's a winner, I guess. I don't know.
I have Goro in B. I enjoyed the kind of his hangout stuff where he's actually an advice person. He's like desperately trying to be this commander, but also really likes cute things. And it's like, okay, he's got character. He's a B in my book. Yeah,
I
Miss
put him as
Hina. Thank
B
you,
too.
Thunderhead.
I don't know. I gave him a D. I think I actually
Ooh,
put him
oof.
too low. I think the
James.
thing with him is no, because here's the thing. Like, he's supposed to be this general. He really wants to, but he's like, the struggle. I haven't done the hangout events, but like when he like is afraid of Yaimiko, which is like fair, but like so much of his character is like timid of other things or timid to be himself, and it does feel a little bit at odds with the like legitimate general, that I don't see him being like so strategic enough on the battlefield enough to sell me on that. So he feels a little bit too incongruous for me to like him. So he's D. I wish I could put him higher, but my heart doesn't say so.
It's fair.
B.
Mm-hmm.
And the mechanics, by the way, like I run Kokomi all the time. I'd love to put her right-hand man with him. He does not belong in a party with her. He has like one party he can run in. I know we're not talking about mechanics, but like mechanically, he fits on one team, and it's with Ito, someone I don't know that I've ever seen him interact with. Like I kind of hate it when they do that.
Yeah.
It still matters, though. That stuff matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Shenhei.
I like Shenhei. I think her design is really cool. I put her in B though because her personality is really weird to me. Like, they tried to do this fish out of water thing with her where it's like, I haven't grown up around human civilization, except that like she was a child when all this stuff happened, so she has to remember some of that. Like she'll ask whenever she joins the party of like, what exactly is teamwork? And I'm like, oh, shut up. Like, of course you know what teamwork is. Come on. You really think, like, you expect me to believe that Cloud Retainer hasn't taught you what teamwork is? Like, it's just a little doofy, and I think they just lean into it maybe a little too hard, but I think her backstory is really interesting. Like, being locked in this battle to the death with this demon for like 5 days or something crazy, and then she gets her vision and her hair went from like black to white. It's cool. There's some cool stuff with her character, but her personality is a little flat and a little boring and obnoxious sometimes, so I had to put her in B.
She's A to me, but she's at the low of the A tier. I think the extra lore, the little opera that they gave her, I think that bumped her up. But I basically agree with all the stuff you said about her personality.
Yep. Solid B. Cool design. Yeah, she's a B.
I agree with all the points, but I put her in C because I also don't love her design.
I don't know.
That's
Okay.
fair.
I also don't know that I love her design either because her personality's flat, but she's not. So she gets a B from me for Booba
Oh my god.
because that was clearly what the number one thing on the design sheet was when they were coming up with her character, and then they
Priority.
started filling in some blanks awkwardly after that. Also, I like the thing where it was like she and Ganyu got half of the same outfit,
I
but
saw that
like
meme.
they split it because that was all the only materials they had left, and Cloud Retainer couldn't find them clothes. So
That was funny.
that's
Also,
pretty
yeah,
good.
Ganyu adapts a lot better, and
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
I feel like Shinha could be cool. They just need to work on some things.
She needs
with
another
her, I
event.
think.
The first one was good.
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah, she needs
She
another
needs
event.
more.
Yep.
Now that's true of a lot of these newer characters, but some of them have already got like a really strong foothold, and she's not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yunjin.
She's a
have
B for me.
6
I'll
left.
say it's probably a little bit taller or higher than it needs to be. I think B. I think she sells the opera, the animations, the voice acting, the event. I believe that she runs an opera troupe, and I believe that she cares about stories, and she runs around and doing it. So solid.
Mhm. I'll just go ahead and spoil my next 4 votes. All of these next 4, including Yujin, are S tiers for me.
Whoa.
Yujin, I love her design. She has a great design. She's an opera singer. We get that beautiful cutscene with her. In the Hangout event, it's entertaining, and throughout it's like, okay, I want to learn how to be opera, and I want to learn about you, but also going back, Yunjin just wants to be a regular teen when she's hanging out with you, and that's a sweet moment. And she is definitely an S tier for all of those reasons to me.
Well, I haven't done her hangout yet, but I put her in D.
Ooh.
I don't know. I really hate her little bonnet. And I don't know. She just fell flat for me. I didn't really love the whole opera thing, so yeah.
I put her in C. I liked the opera thing, except I was hilariously distracted by how her speaking voice and her singing voice is not even in the realm of like closeness at all.
Right? Like
Which,
there
like,
was
I get dubbing as a thing, but like,
there
it
was so much
just
focus on like
off.
the sound of it because people didn't understand what the traditional opera was a reference to, so they made fun of the way it sounded, and that was what bothered me, was the fact that her speaking voice and singing voice were so far apart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just
really
a little
jarring.
awkward, but like I don't hate her. I think I just need to see more of her, so that's why I put her in C, is because like, I don't really have an opinion one way or the other yet, but I could just, maybe another opera-based event, maybe.
I had her in C, which I think puts her in B. It's an S, a B, 2 C's, and a D. So we're going to break this now by having someone push this to the second level. Finally, we did such a good job of keeping it level. I love it. The OCD in me was like,
Good.
yes. Just because I don't know if I've had enough time with her yet, to be honest. I haven't done her hangout yet. Her design's fine, but it's a C for me. So we have our first, second level here, but I think B is a good spot for it. Yaemiko.
I have her as an A. I actually like Yaemiko a lot. She's kind of a troll, but she's also very wise and powerful, and I think it all just balances out very nicely. So she's not too one note in any direction. She's got her hobbies with the light novels, so she's clearly has a passion for storytelling and writing, but also kind of a troll, likes to tease people, but also clearly cares about Raiden Shogun and all of that, and is she's a fox lady, so I feel like I have to give her points for that because I've always liked foxes. So yes, I have her as an A. And I also like her design and her ears. Yaemiko's fun. She's just fun to interact with. I enjoy all the dialogue with her. She's entertaining.
I mean, I think you're right. I will say I put her on S. I think that she's... Here's the thing. I'm not even a huge fan of her design. Like, I actually think I'd like to see more priestess and less legs.
Also
from the
true.
entire
I
design.
agree with that. The legs is
I
weird.
I mean, that could be said of almost all of the characters.
Yeah,
This is true.
also
Correct.
true.
But like her being a troll, her being the theme like we were talking about earlier of Inazuma, where like there's all this mystery, there's all this villainy and an antagonism between you and the land and the Raiden Shogun, and Yaemiko comes in and she's lighthearted, she's a troll, she's comedic, but at the same time she's also mysterious. You can't trust her, but you don't think she's not on your side, and that sort of two-faced nature of her is shown in her hobby of light novels, where you're telling these stories to give the reader what they want, even if it's not true. And I think that they did a really good job weaving her hobbies thematically into where she is as a character, into the land, into the story. I think that puts her on the S, with Raiden Shogun up there.
Yes,
So.
yes. I already voted, you guys know, S tier. She's such a multifaceted character. And,
Hey, I put her in
yeah.
C.
Whoa!
I mean, she does have depth. I just think she's kind of like a pink Lisa, and I don't vibe with it. I
That's
don't
the
know.
most insulting thing you've
I
ever
was
said.
gonna say that is
That's fair.
How
truly
dare
an
you?
insult.
You cannot like her. That's fine. Don't you dare say her and Lisa in the same sentence. I'll remove you from this call. She's an editor-in-chief. Of course I put her in fucking S.
That's
Well,
true.
You know, in addition to everything else, I love the design. I think she might be my favorite voice acting in the game.
She's so good.
She and Ito are right up there, but I think I'd give her the slight edge.
She's so fun to listen to.
Every time I went to see her was a delight. She's super playful, but never in a way that like hinders you from what you're doing, which is a problem for other characters, right? Where it's like, let's play some games and have fun. It's like, no, the world's ending. Like, we don't have time for this shit. So easy S. So she gets to sit right next to Raiden. If you want to ship those two, which people do, then there they are.
I get it.
That's acceptable.
3 S's, an A, and a C means the S maintains. Okay, so we're down to, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4 that we're actually doing because we're skipping the last 4. They don't count. And next up is Kamisato Ayato.
Mm-hmm. And the headmaster of the Kamisato clan, I enjoyed his event where you kind of like suss out and investigate things with him, and an incredibly intelligent character, incredibly fun to play, a good design. I believe he's an S tier.
I put him in B. I like Ayato. Not as much as his sister, I think. But I think there's room to or there's more opportunity to see more of him. But I think he's cool. It makes sense that he's really smart and well collected as the leader of the Kamisato clan, whereas Ayaka's still trying to figure that out. You know, she tries to put on that, prim and proper exterior and has to work really hard at it, and it seems like for Ayato it comes very naturally. So that's all really cool. I'm interested to see more. He's solid.
I agree, and that is why I put him in the C. It's one of those things where, like, for me, there are so many times where I wonder, like, could he just be a regular NPC? And I feel like the answer is yes. He's just solving mysteries behind the scenes. He's just delegating a lot of work. Were it not for the fact that he's related to another playable character, were it not for the fact that he has, like, the family name, it feels like he does not need to be playable or have, like, the aesthetic or the attacks or any. There's nothing that binds me to that yet. And I want to see more of that to make me feel like that's why I care that he's a playable character instead of so far behind the scenes that he's almost imperceivable from a lot of stuff.
I mean, we were talking about how Yaimiku is trolls. He is the biggest hot pot troll and a terrible cook, and then he puts his cooking into the hot pot game.
I put him in D.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like I don't know, boring bureaucrat. I don't like his design. I agree that he could just be an NPC. I don't know.
I think I'm projecting a bit, but I'm putting him in A because I assume he's going to become a cool character. All the pieces are there. We haven't seen a ton of it yet, but I'm giving him a little bit of advanced credit, I guess. So the A is for Ayato. That's
Wait,
an
do
S.
we have 1 point in each category?
That's an S, an A, 2 B's, and a C, which means he tips ever so slightly towards B. Let's put in.
No, I was a D.
Oh, a D. I thought I saw it was a B.
Yeah.
Well, he's a B either way because it's right in the middle.
Yep.
But he's going to be on the bottom of B then instead of in the middle somewhere. S, A, B, C, D. Interesting. Scabbed. Alrighty. Yelan.
I'll just say that she's basically the same as Ayato to me, where it's a C. I want to see more of this, like, side of Leeway. We're rooting out crime. We're doing some Secret Service kind of shenanigans. But as it stands, other than looking cool, could have been an NPC, I think. I want to see her do more so that I care that she's doing this. But, yeah.
Yeah, she's a lot like Ayato, which is why I also put her in S tier. She's also sussing things out behind the scenes. Very intelligent. Can throw her weight around, and as seen in her quest. She buys the tea house and all of that. She's a very intelligent character, and I enjoy playing her. So she is also an S.
I put her as a B, basically for all the reasons that I did for Ayato as well. Like, she seems cool, design is neat. I don't really know a lot about her yet, though, and I'd be interested to see more. But I don't really hate her or anything. I don't really have a lot to go on yet.
Yeah, she's a B for me too. I like her vibe so far, but need more.
I have her an A. She was one of the last cuts that just couldn't quite make it to S because I think, unlike Ayato, her involvement in that event that came out right after she released went a long way. I was already pretty committed to pulling for her because of the role she would fill for my party, but I actually was surprised that I actually really liked her in that event as well. So while it's the only thing we had to go on so far, I mean, if Ayato's an A, she's certainly an A because I think she's had more to do so far than he has.
I would agree.
So I think that leaves her in a low A. Alrighty, Kuki Shinobu, 2 left.
I mean, I put her in B. That's my Toma Ganyu secretary tier. Kujosara's there. That's my B tier. That's the I pulled for her. I like her. I like her backstory of like not wanting to be a shrine maiden. She just wants freedom, but that is a little simple at the end of the day. She just wants to be able to do her own thing, but I don't always get to see what doing your own thing is. But she's hangs out with Ito. She's very competent. I like that she's like cross culture with leeway. There's a lot of points going for her. I haven't seen enough to convince me that all of that good stuff on paper is paying off. So B.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Young
put her in
face
B
student.
too.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
No.
Yeah.
I put her in A.
Oh. Yeah. I put her in B. She's on face student. She's a cool design, but the mask is useless because she's identifiable.
What do you mean? Green hair. It's not very common.
No, I think she's a B character so far. I did enjoy the hangout.
I have her an A, if only because of what I think is the world's tallest mountain of patience for dealing with Ito.
She deserves a
fair.
lot of credit.
You know, that is fair.
The dynamic
almost
between the
put her
two
on
of them,
A.
I think, is part of why I like Ito so much, because she's the perfect foil. She usually has the leg up on him, but obviously she's the straight woman to his goofiness, but still kind-heartedness. Still leaves her to B. I'll put her in the high Bs, though, because it's like split
she's a
down
high
A's
B
and
for me,
Bs.
too.
We'll put her ahead of Zhang Ling. Why not? Right there. All right, our final character, and then we'll kind of just look at the whole list real quick. Heizo, I'll even go first real quick, where I'm like, I am intrigued to know more, but like it's so early in the game that I'm not super convinced I have a great beat on this, and so I put him in C.
I put him in A.
Same.
I did his hangout quest and I enjoyed it. He seems interesting. I like his design. I also like that he's a catalyst user, but like also does melee moves. I know we're not really factoring that in, but it's kind of a nice way to distinguish him visually from the rest of the cast in terms of his fighting style. Excited to see more of him like sleuthing and doing stuff. So yeah, I have him maybe a little too high up right now, but that's it can move at some point. So
I put him in D, and he maybe belongs in C because I would like to see more of him. But I guess my problem is it feels like we're leaving Inazuma. We've solved most of like the authoritarian regime going on there. I'm sure there's going to be more crime, but man, I really wish we'd seen this guy sooner, and like how he was like maybe trying to like kind of go against the regime or Kujosara and like work on different crimes or solving them differently. He almost feels mistimed for me, and that's why it almost feels like a waste, and I put him in D, but that's just my take.
it's actually a really good point. He would have been perfect in like the Inazuma storyline. That could have been
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, because there's all sorts of interesting things happening with the Tenryu Commission, but how much
Yeah.
is going to be happening
Yeah.
now? Like, we know there's still some squabbling going on between some of the commissions
Like,
and stuff, but
imagine if he was helping you solve the riddle of the like corruption within the Tenryo Commission for Sara's quest. Like, what if that was a group quest? That would have been a perfect spot for him. Then he shows up, and I'm like, well, what are you solving, dude? I solved all the problems of this place, man. Get out of here. Like,
It's true.
Maybe he was solving another crime.
maybe,
No,
maybe.
I do like intelligent characters, and so I put him in B, but I don't know enough about him. I haven't done a lot of his story hangout guide or whatever it is, so that's where I have him right now.
Puts him at a C because an A, a B, 2 C's, and a D. He leans slightly towards C, but kind of high up in it. Makes another widow, as we call it in the industry, with one character sticking out, which makes me really want to push Venti down into D. But no, he was a C. The group decided. I'm biased, I admit it. And this is our final list because, again, I mean, we can look down here. There's some other characters, but, like, this is just a second of one we already have, and these 3 have just recently been announced and don't even come out for another, 3 weeks? 4 weeks?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And we can always update this down the road, see if anybody moves because of, 6 months of time and some events that have happened to raise or lower someone's stock and then put the new ones in. But for now, do they fit? Just about. That's the final result.
It does make a nice bell curve.
I was going to say,
Kind of.
I'm happy with our list. I think it's very balanced. And we all had lots of very valid points. And it all worked out in the end. So I approve of the final product.
Does anybody have one in particular they think is like bad or just like upsetting?
Noelle, what are you guys thinking?
I will say I do think it's very telling that the arc of like getting into Inazuma of like Kazuha from Liyue into like the struggle with Raiden Shogun and the help from Yaimiko, the rebellion, Yoimiya, into everything is resolved and we're getting the lighter hearted stuff with Ito shows on our S tier and maybe when we all started really engaging with the game, because that is almost a perfect timeline of some of the best Inazuma release characters, and I don't know if that's us or if the game has hit its stride.
It's a really good point.
Probably both.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
in the beginning I played this because it was anime Breath of the Wild, and
Yeah.
I was really loving the exploration, which I still do,
Mhm.
but it was really only around that point where I was like, okay, now I also care about the story. I mean, there were moments before, and there's some cool set pieces, including a battle against a dragon that's really, really awesome for when it comes in the game, but it wasn't like I latched onto the story all that well. It's probably partially Venti's fault, too.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of like, cool, now I like the world as a whole as well, and I'm interested to see where it goes next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Thunderhead says, see you in the Sumeru arc. Yeah, I mean, we're close. It's kind of a good time to be doing a tier list, really, because now we're about to embark to a brand new continent, a whole new region to explore with hopefully another, like, really, really well done story. It's coming soon. It's going to be here before we know it.
Yeah. And I'm excited for it. I think both how they've been building regions from a story perspective and mechanically, their game has gotten so much better, like their skill in doing it. And I want to see them bring this like scholarly wisdom and maybe the darker side of looking too deep and all that stuff. I'm interested. I've heard there might be some outfits for Lisa as far as like involving her as like she was a student in like maybe so we'll touch on the academia and like maybe learning or dark knowledge. I think it'll be interesting. I'm hesitant because it's gonna be hard to beat that antagonism of Inazuma, which I felt was really nice. But maybe there will be enough mystery in Sumeru to keep the story going as strong as it has been. But we're not there yet. But I have more confidence in them as a team, the music, the world building, character writing now than I have ever. So.
Yeah, I'm very excited because, of course, I love all of the intelligent characters. I'm very excited for what this next area is going to bring.
Looks cool aesthetically from the few leaks we've seen as well. I'm not really searching those out. Not a big spoiler guy, but I've obviously seen a few come across Twitter and whatnot, and looks beautiful. Looks
I can't wait to run around and explore it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
looks
one
like
of
it's gonna be a blast.
favorite things to do in this game is just running around exploring, and that looks like the perfect region to do it. So.
Yeah, and fight those raptors, right?
Yes.
Fight the raptors, yes.
Make them extinct.
And the music is so good in Genshin, and they have continued to be on their A++ game, and I think Sumeru is going to be another knockout for them on that. So
I only put in the first soundtrack, and we went so long it looped. You may have heard Mondstadt's theme twice, for
we
example.
had opinions.
Yeah.
We had lots of opinions. We had to put them out there.
But I'm pretty satisfied with this end result. Again, it doesn't necessarily jive with mine in every way, but I feel like it's a very fair representation of our group. I don't think there's any point where it was like, oh no, other than Doug getting shouted on Noelle. But again, 4Ds, like...
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Doug, would it make you feel better if I did like this?
Yes. There
Alright.
we go. It's perfect.
I'm going to give her the same credit I gave Ayato and assume at some point she's going to be in an event and be delightful, and then it'll be fine. There
Maybe
you
in
go.
her third hangout event.
Yeah. I also still put her below Venti, so that tells you it doesn't really make much of an improvement. Okay, it's time to go get dinner and stuff. But if you've been watching this live, a couple of you have been tuned in for the majority of it. Thank you for that. Or if you're watching it on demand and made it through the whole video, hopefully, this aligned with your views as well. Let us know maybe some characters you had in different spots or which one you kind of agree with as slam dunks. We always check the comments and stuff, so take a look down there. I guess I should plug at the end of a big live stream that you can like and subscribe to the channel. We don't really show all that often, but this is a good chance to do so. And we'll see what happens next time. I don't know when any of us really have plans to pull again. Obviously, there's a lot of unknowns surrounding 3.0 and beyond, so that could become a spur-of-the-moment thing. But the next time somebody's set to whale, we'll record again, maybe even do it live. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Later, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
End stream.